This feels a little bit like Groundhog Day to me. On this episode of Task Force Geek, we welcome comic creator Krysta Crawford, who's here to talk about her upcoming Kickstarter, Wolf and I. We're talking about Star Wars Celebration, lots of news out of there. And we'll discuss what some fan holes are saying about Obi-Wan star Moses Ingram. And finally, we'll catch up with Casey Jane and Scott Sackett. And that's all coming up now. Welcome to Task Force Geek. My name is Dirk Cooper, and today I am joined by Walt.
Yo, what's up?
You know, I would ask how you're doing, but I just did that a few moments ago.
And I said that I was doing fine.
And then you asked how I was doing.
I did.
And I said I was good.
Yep.
So now everyone's all caught up.
Can we say that this is actually take two?
This is take two. I'll explain about that in a minute. Up next, we have our buddy Scott Sackett. How you doing, Scott?
I am still doing great, Dirk.
Still doing from 2 minutes
and
ago.
Again, thank you for having
me.
Thank you for having me on the show again. As I told you before, I've been waiting here just for you to tag me in for another episode of Task Force Geek, and I'm grateful to be here.
I had no idea that you were anxiously waiting to be on here again. But I will say this: the last time you were on here, you did a great job, and so I'm always looking to get you back on here. And I had two people that I thought were going to be on tonight, and they kind of fell through at the last minute. And I thought, I wonder if Scott would be on again, and you rose to the occasion. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it.
It's no problem. I am glad to be on, and thank you for thinking of me. I do appreciate it. This
won't be the last time, I promise you.
Okay, also, I'll hold you to that.
All right. Also coming up, you're not going to believe that early to the game. Casey Jane.
Hey, I feel like I've been here before.
Yeah, we're going to do this intro about 4 or 5 times. Actually, I'm just going to stop this broadcast and we'll start it all over again.
What is it? What movie is that? That horror movie? It's like, is it Happy Cake Day? Something like that.
Yeah, it's. I have not seen that, but
everyone knows of it. Yeah, it's like I feel like we're doing that right now. Like we're just gonna keep reliving until we get it
done many times. They're even doing like Taco Bell commercials now that are like Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
It's a good routine. Let's see. Wait a minute. Hey, look at this. We got Damon. He's first.
Hey, Damon.
Damon, don't you worry, my friend.
Oh, how late are you? You are first. You are not late at all. You are right on time.
If he only knew about our current timing right now.
Right. For the first time, we're on episode 92. For the first time, I did the entire intro and I did not go live. I have to press the button, go live. I didn't go live. We did the whole intro and said hi to each other and all that stuff. And no one was watching.
Well, Walt caught it.
Fortunately, Walt sent me a message like, are we live? If I had not read that, I could have gone for 3 hours and just broadcast to ourselves.
What was even funnier is that you thought, this is our first comment.
Kind of a Zoom, right? Kind of a little Zoom party for ourselves. Wonderful.
Fun times.
What a time.
Good stuff. Hey, Damon, thank you for checking in with us. We got
and confirming that we're live.
Yes. Our first validation.
About 10 minutes in, I would have been like, why hadn't anyone given us any comments? my feelings are all hurt.
If Altamont didn't comment, I would have cried. She always comments. I would have cried.
You know what? I'm surprised she is not on right now because she skipped the MK meeting tonight. Unless at the last minute she decided to go to the MK meeting.
She even chimes in when her son is not on the show.
I know.
She chimes in and checks on us, which is awesome. It's pretty awesome. Okay, hey, let's do some housekeeping. What do you say?
Okay.
Housekeeping.
Come back later, please.
Housekeeping?
Not now.
Come back later, please.
You not seen that, Casey J?
That's my favorite. Come back later, please.
Every time I did housekeeping in the past, that's the little routine that I was thinking about. So I thought I'm going to go out there and grab that and see if I can see if the Fox lawyers stay away from me long enough to play that as a routine.
Yeah, I'll personally fight them if they come for you.
I mean, it's 9 seconds long. It's not that bad.
It's not Disney, so I think you're fine.
It's not
Actually-
well. It kind of
actually it
is
is.
Disney now because Disney
Owns 20th Century Fox. So.
yeah ate up the entertainment division of Fox. So anyway, hopefully the Disney lords will cut
But
us
we're
a
not
little
making
slack
any
on
money,
that.
so I don't think we're affecting.
That's a good point.
Oh,
So-
they don't care, and you
If
and I
they're gonna
both
sue
know
for
it.
damages,
I
it's
know
gonna
it.
be-
I mean, and we're big Family Guy
Yeah.
fans, and we're promoting Family Guy, and we're promoting Disney Plus and all that other stuff. So hey,
Damon says we need more Family Guy inserts. Actually, I'd like to have inserts on all kinds of stuff. Matt, I have plans for stuff. Actually, that's part of what I'm going to talk about here. We don't have any guests lined up here over the next few weeks. We've had guests lined up for quite some time. We had a pretty good turnout on that sort of thing. Back in December, I took about a month off. I'm thinking I'm going to take another month off to get caught up on some stuff, both personally and professionally, and get caught up on some things with the show. There's things that I would like to do, like some interstitials and grabbing some clips, and so I could play those, and maybe refreshing some of the things that we've had for nearly 100 episodes. And so I'm probably going to take a little bit of time off. But with that said, if you're watching and you've got a Kickstarter coming up and you're like, damn, I really wanted to be on here and I just haven't gotten in touch with you yet, that's okay. Get in touch with me at taskforcegeek@gmail.com and say that you have a Kickstarter in June or whatever, and we'll run an episode for you. If no one contacts me, if there are no emergencies or anything, then I'll take a month off and enjoy a little time because these episodes eat up quite a bit of time and every week. And in addition to that, let me just say we're doing spoiler alert on Sundays now. So if you just got to see a little Task Force geekness, check us out on Sundays in the afternoon. We're doing spoiler alert. Right now we're covering Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is a super great series. And we cover every episode. We cover it every way you can possibly think of. So even if the Tuesday night show isn't here, we're here on Sunday, and we might do some interviews with people, even if we're not doing a regular show. Again, if you're a guest and you want us to do a show, we'll do one for you. There it is.
We'll make it work.
Yeah.
Or if you know anyone,
And that's all the way. I mean, whatever. We're here to get your stuff out there. So I think that a show that gets somewhere between 900 and 1,800 views on YouTube would be attractive to people who want to promote their stuff.
Yeah.
Again, we're not Entertainment Tonight, but
so we're better.
We're Task Force.
That's right.
We're better than Entertainment Tonight.
We will do our best to give you some real promotion on your stuff.
We're not going to spend a whole hour about the Amber Heard Johnny Depp defamation.
We are not. Nor will we talk about.
So good.
Nor will we talk about the royals.
Casey Jane, is it?
Seeing people make a fool out of themselves? Absolutely it is, but I digress.
The next thing I want to cover is our swag. Check it out at taskforce-geek.creator-spring. Why do I keep saying spring?
Spring.
Maybe it's because of that other business that you do.
It's just spring.
We're not going to talk about that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
New business venture?
You can go over there and check out all of our t-shirts, all of our mugs, all of our stuff. Walt is helping us create stuff over there. So is Steve. And like you said, that's Sean's design on the logo. It's the logo that's over there.
It's a great logo.
Nope, it's over here. Over there in the top left-hand corner, right over Scott's head.
Let's see which hand, yeah.
You can get that on a
right
t-shirt
there.
or a mug or all kinds of things. And hey, the money that you donate to us toward that will go towards us spending it on other stuff here. I promise you, which would be cool. The next thing I want to cover is our Facebook group. Let me see if I can get the banner on that. Here it is right there. the Task Force Geek Facebook group, that's really where we talk during the week. We share, articles and memes and all kinds of crazy stuff. Please join that if you're not on that. It's really made for this whole community. Some people are doing stuff on Discord and all that sort of stuff. Our most of our activities right here through the Task Force Geek Facebook group. And in addition to that, people like Scott should be posting whatever it is that they're doing, whatever their Kickstarters are, or whatever their art they're working on, or if you're a writer and you're working on a plot or something. Filmmakers, whatever it is that you want, if it's geeky, if it's even peripherally geeky, please post it on there, because there's a bunch of people we have pretty good engagement, and we really want, be as commercial as you want to be. Hawk your wares, put your stuff up there. That's really what we want. That's what it's there for. If you have a Kickstarter campaign and you need another 100 people to bid on it, then, put it up there and ask for it. That's what it's there for. Share sketches, whatever you want. So join it and tell your friends, your creative friends, to join that thing too, and put it up there. You don't have to ask for permission. We want it. Finally, while you're watching us here.
Hey, Dirk.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that even if you're not, I know you're saying if you're creative or you're making something or you have something to hawk, you join the group and hawk it. But I would say even if you don't have something to sell, if you're watching this, then you would be interested in that group.
Yeah.
The group has a lot of interesting posts, and there is a lot of good engagement in the group. And so I wouldn't want someone watching this to feel like, well, I don't make comics, or I don't make film, or I'm not an artist, or whatever. I think if you're watching this, then there'll be content in there that you would be interested in. Anyway, sorry to interrupt.
No, it's a great point. It's a great point. The reason why I mentioned that specifically is because a couple of weeks ago, I put a post up there, and several people are like, is it okay if I post art here? And, and it's like,
please.
Yeah, that's what that's really what I want. 99% of the people that post on there are exactly what you're talking about, Scott. They're just friends or people who watch the show, or just people who are interested in, this geeky stuff. Yeah. And they're posting the things that they see online, and everyone has a little bit of a competition to see who can scoop who on big breaking news.
This is true.
So if you're interested in, Marvel or Star Wars or any of the other geeky stuff, you're going to get breaking news on there, because like I said, everyone is trying to kind of beat each other on, on getting that news out there and stuff. So it's a good place to kind of get a wide sweeping range of, kind of geekdom.
Yeah. Like a lot of people are toy collectors.
There's all,
and I like to see things about toys. We got people who are board gamers. They like to, we put stuff about board games and card games and role-playing games, you name it, video games. It would be kind of cool if we could get some video game developers to get on there and share their stuff.
Oh, I would love to get someone who.
I want to talk to them.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, we cover everything. We have people who are into Hong Kong cinema,
It's broad.
It's very broad.
Oh, yeah. There he is.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if someone knows someone that's working at a video game company, you're a developer, you're doing character design, or you're, one of the higher ups, we would love to talk to you. Oh my God. Yeah. Promote your stuff. Or if you're just a small potatoes person that's writing code on your own, let's have it. That would be awesome. That'd be awesome. Yeah. We've never had that. That's one thing that we haven't had yet. Anyway, let me put it up since we're still talking about it. That's the Task Force Geek Facebook group. It's just Facebook groups /Task Force Geek. There you go. Finally, if you're watching this right now, please leave us a like or share. It makes a big difference. Comment. I've got some comments I got to look at before we get onto the show here. And share this to your platform so that your platform becomes our platform while we're live. If you share it to either Twitter or to Facebook, or you share a live YouTube, then we're going to be live on your feed. So we deeply appreciate that. Wow, this is amazing. It's all coming together. Here we go.
Hey,
here is our guest today.
Yes.
How's everybody doing today?
Krysta Crawford.
We're good. How are you?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic.
You got here early too.
It's pretty good for a Tuesday, Monday.
Right. I see we have the glasses gang going on today.
Wow, we really do.
Hey, we've got what's that? 20 eyes here tonight.
Wow.
Joke's on you guys. Mine are fake.
And mine are just readers. So
if I don't have mine, the show stops because I won't see a damn thing. Mine are not fake.
Mine are solely aesthetic. They are not real.
All right, let me get to some comments, and then we will get to our feature presentation. How about that? We're going right straight to that. Damon says, "If I ever make a comic book, I'll come to you guys. Process sounds like a lot of trouble. It's huge, and copyright BS. He might just make stop motion movies once he has time to build some sets. You want to talk about a lot of work? Stop motion movies is probably, I'm going to say, more work than doing comic book stuff. But
yeah, I would.
If you do stop motion, we want to have you on the show.
Want to see it. I would suggest looking up the Johnny Quest opening stop motion online. Google that.
Listen, my all-time favorite movie is a stop motion movie. So
I know which one that is.
It's because I'm wearing this shirt, isn't it?
There's definitely some good stop motion movies out there.
For sure.
Ooh.
Ken, we were talking about joining our Facebook group. He says he meant us, but
Ken,
says
I'm
us
with
no talent
you.
people.
Listen, Ken, we joke about it all the time.
Welcome, Ken.
In this podcast, I am surrounded by some incredibly talented people. I have nothing. I cannot draw. I can only maybe come up with some stories. No talent whatsoever. But I'm still here and I still have a good time.
Not
and
true.
in that Facebook post, it is true. We will have a good time. Dirk, I'm a good nurse and that's about it. That's all you got from me.
I mean, this is our, we like professional wrestling. I think she knows more than me. And I'm a lot older than she is. So,
Not a lot older.
She knows it for sure. And finally, Michelle. Welcome, Michelle.
Hello, Michelle.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. There we go. All right. You know what time it is?
What time is it?
It's time for the feature presentation.
I was going to say, it's mail time.
If someone would send us mail, we would do mail time. Send us mail at taskforce@gmail.com. Here we go. Here's a feature presentation. Well, if you were around last week, right before we were going to wrap up, you know our next guest. She showed up right at the last minute, took us on a tour of the house, had the best elevator pitch that I've ever heard, ever. And here she is again. Here's Krysta Crawford. How you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. It was a much better day in clinic than it was last week.
We have you. What is, if you don't mind saying, what do you do in your day-to-day job here?
Yeah, so by day, I'm a pediatric nurse practitioner, doctorally trained, and by night, I'm an artist.
There you
God
go.
Bless you, peds.
Once again, last week I told Krista that she didn't send me a bio.
Oops.
Did you send me a bio, Krista?
No, I'm going to blame it on that I've been at Phoenix Comic-Con for 3 days straight.
We're going to ask about that.
And then rolled straight into roller derby on yesterday. So
as a good host,
you do roller derby.
You did roller derby?
No, we did roller skating. We were pretending we were roller dubering. It felt like roller derby.
How many things are you into? It's like you're doing roller derby. Okay, so anyway, you didn't send me a bio. So I had a bio written for you. You can go back and you can read it last week, but I didn't want to read the same bio again, so I created a new bio for you.
Oh, I'm so excited. You know what? I think the bio you're coming up with is better than the bio I would have created anyway.
I like writing bios that sound like a setup for a 80s television show. So here it is. Krysta Crawford was born in an alternate dimension that briefly opened a gate to here. Confused and alone, she visited Tibet and was trained as a martial artist by secretive monks in an ancient temple. When evil ninjas attacked the temple and destroyed it, she vowed revenge and now wanders the earth searching for ninjas and solving crimes with her 2 talking dogs, Cupcake and Mocha.
I could see it.
Can I have one of those?
I was like, bring it on.
Casey Jane, you want me to create your bio?
Wow. That's funny.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, that was. I'm like, now I'm ready to write another story. Bring it on.
So let's get your real bio. Let's start by asking what's your origin story.
Yeah, so my origin story is I grew up here in Phoenix, Arizona, and I have always had a love of art and books, although traditionally I read like actual like novel books, not comic books. I didn't get into comic books until later in my life, when I started getting into this world of my love of art. And so I grew up reading the classics, and so that really kind of inspired me to be a creator. But I also I love helping people, and so that fueled my journey into the healthcare world, where I pursued getting my bachelor's, working in the pediatric ICU and neonatal ICU as my nighttime superhero power. And then that wasn't enough, so I decided to torture myself some more, and I went back and I got my master's and my doctorate, and then here I am. By day I take care of kids, and by night I write comics and draw art.
That's a pretty good bio.
I mean, it's not as cool as like coming from another dimension though, and having really awesome superpower dogs named Mocha and Cupcake though.
I like those names. Those are pretty cool.
I mean, being in pediatrics kind of is a different dimension, so he's not really.
This is
I'm
the
sure it
truth.
is.
Sure.
I'm sure it is.
Sometimes I feel like I'm working in another world with another language too. You don't realize you need to learn to speak another language until you get into pediatrics.
Oh, I bet that's
well, any nursing.
Or any nursing.
Let's see. Michelle says that Casey's singing one of my favorite movies.
Casey retired singing in high school.
And look at this. We just mentioned Maxine, and there she is. Welcome, Maxine.
How you doing, Mom?
If we do a broadcast and you don't check in, it hurts our feelings. That's all I'm saying.
I told them, I don't know if this was our first take or not. Maxine, I said, if you don't comment, I will cry. I look forward to you saying hello every time.
See how important that little thing is, that little action there.
I'm gonna try and sneak Mom into spoiler alert this Sunday. So they're supposed to.
Are you serious?
I'm gonna try and sneak her in.
She's gonna wait a minute. Are you saying she's gonna make an appearance on spoiler?
I'm gonna try and get her to make an appearance on spoiler alert.
That is breaking news.
So heads up, Mom.
Ooh, I should try to get Mom and Fury in one of these. Can we all try to get them?
Yes.
No, my mom will say no. I can already tell you.
I think my mom
does
will
not do
too.
cameras.
I think my mom will too, but you never know. You never know. Krista, how long have you been drawing?
Ooh, so I've been drawing since I was like 8 years old, but professionally, I have been drawing in the comic scene for about 10 years now. I started doing a lot of like pinups and a lot of pop culture, like smash art together, where you combine like My Little Ponies and Nightmare Before Christmas. And then
that sounds awesome.
It's actually pretty neat. It's one of my favorite pieces of art I've ever done, actually. And then I started working on Wolf and I the art of Wolf and I about 3 years ago, and I started writing the story for Wolf and I 15 years ago.
Wow, 15 years in the making. Mm-hmm. That's incredible. Well, let me, since we don't get a lot of artists on here, and since I love talking to artists, tell me what kind of materials you use for your art.
So I do a little bit of everything. Most of Wolf and I is drawn digitally. So I do a lot of digital sketch to digital like finished rendition. But I really like traditional mediums of like just pencil and charcoal and like to the paper. I really like the contrast of the black and white in like your traditional sketch and inks.
So you started out probably traditionally, right? And then moved to doing,
I did.
What program do you use?
So I use Photoshop primarily, although I've been kind of breaking into the iPad recently just for like travel purposes and like working, over lunch. And it's much easier than taking my whole PC with me and my tablet.
Sure.
It doesn't travel well. Yeah.
So what do you prefer? Do you like?
I think, I work on a Cintiq, and I really like the feel of the Cintiq. I feel like it's got more of like a traditional feel to it than the iPad does. The iPad feels a lot more digital to me. So it's been quite a learning curve to kind of get the motions down that I want. And I feel like when you work with the same program for some time, you get used to it. And there's a lot of things you do by habit, or, shortcuts, or, so like working in a whole, same thing going from traditional to digital, or back and forth. Like there's things that you're like, wait, I can't do that. Like, or it's not the same, or you have to go a little slower, a little faster. And like traditional, I like to use a lot of rulers, and I take it back, look at it and kind of like look at it from different perspectives. And so I think there's some pros and cons to all different things, and it's what the style you're looking for and what you're comfortable using, and then always being open to trying something new.
That's huge, for sure. I think a lot of people really fall down on that, which is just try something new, because sometimes you can really have a big breakthrough if you're willing to get outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Even if it's a failure, you learn something from that process.
Mm-hmm. And you never know where it can take your art, by trying something new, by looking something new, by finding something out on accident, and always like watching tutorials, watching other artists, and finding your style. I know a lot of people try to like, I want my style to be like this, or I want my style to be like that. But ultimately, I think finding your own style is what's going to make like your art stand out, make you be proud of your art too.
For sure. Damon says Walt's mom should be a guest on the 100th episode. And Maxine says, it sure is breaking news. She wasn't aware of it. Your plans there, Walt. Krista, what is your process for creating a comic page?
Ooh, so I have learned a lot. I will tell you, I have my fourth issue of Wolf and I is on Kickstarter right now. So I've kind of gone through a couple of issues now, and I've definitely had growth between all of them. What I found works best for me is I have the story like written out, like probably 20 issues worth of the comic written out, since Wolf and I was traditionally going to be a novel. And so what works best for me is kind of creating like what I want in page 1 and what I want in page 2, like story flow wise, and where I want the beginning to the end of the comic to be. And then I do like basic sketches of like panels, and like stick figures of like, okay, I want this person here, and this is what I'm trying to represent here. And then I go through and add in the details, and then ink it, send it to a flatter who sends it back to me, and I do the finalized colors and the lettering. And I find that works best for me, because then I can really, before I like get super into detail on pieces, know that everything's going to kind of flow and the story's going to make sense, and it's going to start and end where I want it to, without like missing out where I want, things in the middle.
Yeah. What comics inspire you?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I pretty much have 3 giant filing cabinets in the garage filled to the top with comic shops. And then as a sneak peek from our previous quick sneak peek into the life of Flirtability, I own a comic shop. So I get really inspired by a lot of indie comics. It makes me really excited to see like all these creators like take their stories and really bring them to life. But as far as like which comics traditionally inspired me, I read a lot of like Scarlet Witch comic books. I read a lot of like your traditional, to be honest, I read a lot of Captain America en français, which I had to have sent to me from a Canadian comic book shop, because nobody carries French Captain America comics.
That
here
is
in
weird.
America.
That's wild.
And then lastly, Disney comics. That's probably the majority of the comics I read are Scarlet Witch and Disney comics. I'm a huge Disney fanatic, as Michelle pointed out. I run on Disney and caffeine.
That is definitely Michelle's deal too.
I'm a big Disney freak, and if anybody saw me at Phoenix Comic Con this weekend, I was like Belle head to toe.
I was gonna. Do you know how to share pictures on this platform?
Let's see.
You don't have to do it now, but I would really like for you to show when we get to that thing. Just think about it. I would really like for you to share some pictures from the convention, because your outfit that you had for that was insane.
Oh, thank you. I've been working on that outfit for months. I love to sew, and so it came together really well. I don't know how to share files. I know how to share video files, and I know how to share a screen, although you're welcome to pull it up on Facebook or Twitter. I think I posted on all the things.
I may try to do that. What I'm going to share next myself is your Kickstarter campaign. But before we get to that, what I want to ask you is, tell us about Wolf and I, and what is the backstory on that comic?
All right. Well, I don't know if I can pitch it as good as I did last time.
I set you up too high.
Oh, no. All right. So Wolf and I is a fantasy young adult adventure comic that follows the lives of Sophia and Violet. There are two main characters. They grow up in the world thinking they're human, being told fairy tales as they grow up, and now they're entering their college years. And suddenly dark creatures start coming out of the woodworks. They start getting chased. Strange powers start manifesting and occurring. And they find out one of their best friends is actually a meowl shapeshifter, which is a half owl, half cat, who whisks them off into the land of Krayweth with their forced with their destiny to choose to fulfill this prophecy to help save the land of Krayweth from the wolf shapeshifters from taking over.
I mean, you nailed it again.
I've pitched it all weekend at Phoenix Comic Con, so my brain started having deja vu for a little while there. By Sunday, I was like, wait, did I say that? Did I say that in the right order? Am I starting to make a whole new story? And of course, I love my blockbuster pitch, which I think I threw at you last time.
Yeah, go ahead.
So my blockbuster pitch, if this was to be my spring blockbuster, would be: in a land slowly overtaken by darkness, eyes peer into every nightmare. Tread carefully, take heed, and beware, for creatures crawl throughout the night. Secrets of history shall come to light. Internal powers before unknown. Choices are made, worlds are shown. Two herons are faced with a choice: to band with friends and unite their voice. Against this evil they must stand, for the fate of Krayweth lays in their hands.
Wow.
Nice.
The whole time you were reciting that, I had the Thriller music going through my head.
I have Thriller stuck in my head from skating last night. I was like, yes! You can't go traditional roller skating. So over here in Glendale, Arizona, we have two very classic. The buildings have been around probably since the 50s, at least the 60s. We have a traditional old school roller skating rink, 4-wheel roller skating rink, and then we actually have a drive-in movie theater still. So
that's cool.
It's pretty
drive-in.
Yes, you can't get enough of it.
Yeah, we've got one here in Fort Worth, and I think they've got 6 screens, and every night's a double feature.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah, every night's a double feature on each screen.
That's a monster.
Yeah.
I think we have 8 screens.
Wow.
It's big.
I think we only have 5.
And you would like it around Christmas. Christmas and wintertime, they have an ice skating rink. In the hot old Texas.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
I have to go now.
I know. We're gonna have to field trip.
I'll teach anyone how to skate if you need help.
Yes.
I've never been ice skating, but I'm really good at roller skating, and I'm really good at
it translates pretty well.
I don't know. Does it? I don't know.
It does. It to a point. You can't stop in ice skates like you can in roller skates. You can't stop in roller skates like you can in ice skates. Otherwise, you'll eat it.
I was never allowed on roller skates because if I got hurt during figure skating competition season, my coach would have murdered me. So I've never been on roller skates before.
And stopping is totally different from the two of those on rollerblades.
Yeah. Yes. Don't try to hockey stop in roller skates. You will not be happy.
No.
Yeah. Tried like accidentally snow plowing it, and it was not beautiful.
Can I tango stop in them though?
Michelle has a question.
No, I don't think so.
Before we show you Kickstarter, Michelle has a question. She says, "So, Krista, you draw and write your books yourself?" And so, go ahead.
I do. So, Wolf and I is completely 100% drawn by me, written by me, published by me. The only thing that I don't do in the books, which I did in issue 1, but not in 2, 3, and 4, is the flats. I do have a friend that does amazing flat work and has been working with me in the last 3 issues to help just expedite the process and supporting a friend at the same time too. I mean, I could do the flats, but it's nice to support somebody and help their artistic dreams come true. And it takes a little pressure off my back.
There's going to be some people in the audience who don't know what flatting is.
That was my question.
So you wouldn't mind explaining what that is?
Of course. So there's different processes when you're writing comics, which, some comics are like everybody does start to finish, but majority of comics, you have somebody that writes it, somebody that does like the initial art, somebody that inks it. So they go over the pencils with like black, like ink. Then you have somebody who lays flat colors. So the flat colors are going to be like no highlights, no shadows, no details. It's just blocks of color. So basically when the colorist comes in, they can select that area and then they can color over it without having to worry about coloring out of the lines because it selects just that area. So they color like the skin one color and the hair one color and the clothes one color. And then the colorist goes in and adds like the actual details and the highlights and stuff. So it just speeds up the coloring process because otherwise you're sitting there like making sure you're not coloring out of the lines and it helps too so that you can kind of like grab that underlayer if you want to like change just one section. So you want the sky and you have 2 different layers because you want to do a night scene and a day scene. You can just select that and change just that area.
I think I'm going to do a video on flatting. That might be of interest to some people.
That reminds me of the old school way where the colorist used to do the color ink over a Xerox of the black and white artwork. Yeah. And then they would send it out to the color separator. And if anybody is old enough, like me, know anything about cutting amberlith and all that stuff, woo, I will say I do not miss those days.
It's definitely a lot easier in a digital format, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And a lot more colorful too, because your colors were limited back then.
Well, I mean, you can get literally painted work now.
Yeah.
Instead of like those little dots.
Right.
Yeah.
Michelle also says, by the way, I love your mug, hardcore.
It's such a cute mug.
I'm a Disney adult. I'll admit it.
We love that here.
Disney adult.
We love and respect that here.
Damon says, Krista. Oh, wait, here we go. I write poetry. This was pretty good. That was pretty good, Krista.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much.
Like the poetry there. It's a great pitch. All right, let's bring up the actual Kickstarter campaign and let's walk through this here. I have a few questions for you. Your overall series is called Wolf and I.
Yes.
Waves of Dissonance.
So the overall series is Wolf and I, and each issue I've given like a chapter name instead of saying issue 1, issue 2, issue 3.
Okay.
So we have like Wolf and I #1, and then we have Wolf and I Magic Rising, Wolf and I Tides of Truth, and Wolf and I Waves of Dissonance.
Very cool. You are about halfway to a $2,000 goal.
Yes, I'm like floored and over the moon. I think we're about like 62% right now.
I was going to say where's Steve, but Steve was on here last week. So
right.
He's probably...
He may have already backed it.
Yeah, he may have already beat me to it.
Let me get the real quick. Let me get the Kickstarter out there. It is Wolf and I Waves of Dissonance, right? all with a little separation there. So you can either look up Fleur de Villainy, or you can look up Wolf and I Waves of Dissonance, and that will find it. I will show that Kickstarter many times, but right now I don't want to cover everyone's face. So, but I wanted you to have it in case you're interested to get over here and play along with us here. You have 45 backers so far. Is this typical? I mean, this is your third issue. How's it doing in comparison to the other issues?
You know, it's been interesting. So the first time that I launched Wolf and I as a Kickstarter with issue 1, we've successfully fulfilled all of the Kickstarters. The first issue of Wolf and I launched back in 2020, and I ended up with 1727, and I ended up with like 43 backers. And then Wolf and I 2 got a little bit bigger. We hit 2131, and we hit about 56 backers. And then Wolf and I 3 like totally floored everything. I hit 5449, and I had 101 backers. So as of right now, backer wise, I'm about, where I was with the third issue of Wolf and I. As far as like funding goes, I'm about half of what I was, but I made some changes. I offered some lower end tiers because I had a lot of people that wanted to get in at like a slightly lower level. I also added digital tiers this time, which I've never offered before. And those of course are lower level as well too.
Yeah. You have 30 days to go. So you still got a month.
Oh yeah. And we just launched a couple days ago. Yeah. So I have a good feeling about it, and I'm really excited. I brought on some amazing artists this time, which I'm really excited about the variant covers that are in here. We also have mermaid pins that are available in the Kickstarter, and some other stretch goal add-ons as well too. So I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic. And no matter where it ends, it just makes me happy to bring Wolf and I back to life again for another issue.
Yeah, that's cool. This is interiors for previous issues. Do you have the issue done, or will you be finishing it after the campaign?
So it's about 80% done right now. I'm waiting on a couple more flats to finish the last few pages, but it'll be finished before the campaign ends at the end of the month.
That's really cool right there. I like that page a lot.
The full page is actually full color, but I kind of wanted to show the transition between lines to colors.
I think that's cool. I want to show some of it. You have your alternate. Oh, here we go. This is what I wanted people to see. Who is this? Ryan Kincaid?
So Ryan Kincaid is actually a pretty well known in the indie community for his art. He does a lot of variant covers for a lot of indie books, but he's also worked on some of the bigger comic comedies too.
I mean, that's a great piece.
I have a lot of mermaid pieces this time because the mermaids were introduced in issue 3, and they play a fairly large role in issue 4. And so, of course, who can't resist the chance to draw a mermaid, especially during Mermay?
Mermay, huh? Who is this? Greg Bow and Gwen?
So Greg Bow's the artist and Gwen's the colorist. Gwen actually did the colors for Ryan Kincaid's cover as well too, which I found out later. Actually, just a couple of days ago, she was like, "Hey, by the way, I did this coloring too." So Gwen's from France, and she does a lot of coloring for a lot of like artists that just do traditional pencil or line work. And then Greg Bow too is an up and coming artist that's done a lot of indie work.
Where are you finding these artists? Do you have were you already in communication with them, or?
A little bit of both. So some of them are people that have printed for us, for my company. Some of them are artists that I've had friends use for their indie comic books. And a couple of them are ones that I found like on Instagram as I was scrolling through their feeds. And I was like, "Hey, I like your artwork. Would you be interested in doing a variant cover for my comic?" It'd be a commission work. And then we would sell like the pages, so it would be signed, the copyrights of the image over for the comic.
Yeah.
That's Keith cool. Garvey is also a really well-known artist, although he tends to do more playful, tasty covers. And so I put him up to the challenge to do a PG-13 cover. But his artwork is just excellent, so I had to have him on here.
Rein it in, man. Rein it in.
And then
JT Malloy?
Yeah, so JT's also another well-known in the indie community, and he actually has his own indie comic book, Sapphire Spectre. So he does some really great work.
I thought you.
And I'll actually be doing an indie. That was a cover exchange, so I'll be doing a cover for his comic book when his next issue releases too.
That is cool. Nice. That's a great way of doing that.
Yeah. And of course, Steph Wilson and Carrie Ann. Once you know Steph, you'll always know a Steph piece. He has a very interesting art style. It's not my if I were to go and buy a comic in the comic shop, it's not like the art style that would first draw my eyes. But Steph and Carrie are one of my favorite people in the entire indie comic industry. They're the sweetest, most supportive, and they do such an interesting style that I think it really, brings your art in a different perspective. And that's what I love so much about variant covers, is it allows you to see your characters through somebody else's eyes.
Yeah, it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's the coolest thing. Dutchin?
Yes. So Dutch is actually my flatter. He does all the flats for my comic books, and he actually has his own teen comic book as well too. So this was a cover for cover exchange.
Very cool. Great work.
A nice piece there.
Yeah, very nice. This is all good. Kimmy.
And this is one of the artists that I found on Instagram. That was just a little up and coming artist, but I just loved her style so much. So I'm actually going to have her come back for the next issue of Wolf and I as well too. We're future planning. I'm always future planning.
Well, sure. How are these alternate covers doing?
So far they're doing great. I mean, there's something for everybody, and that's what I like about variant alternate covers is, there's people that want to buy the comic for the comic. There's people that want to buy the comic for the variant cover. There's people that want to support their favorite artist, and so they're, all these artists were paid for their variant covers, except for the ones that we're doing in exchange for.
That's awesome.
And so, it's my way of giving back to the indie community and helping support these artists in their dream of, being artists as a career.
Yeah.
And so, they have their own supporters that help come on and want to get their artwork, as a collection piece too.
Let's see what my comment is here. Michelle says, OMG, those mermaids.
Oh, the mermaids.
Yeah, we're stacked with mermaids tonight. Trevor Grace.
Yes, Trevor Grace is one of my best friends and one of my biggest supporters as far as my art goes, and he's done 2 really amazing covers for Wolf and I so far.
Very cool. What kind of? Oh, you've got. Man, I love that packaging. If I get packaging in those things, I know it's been taken care of.
Yeah.
You know, seriously.
I, as a printer, I know, I see books that get sent graded. I watch when people get books through Kickstarters and other thing. And I want people, whether they're buying it just for enjoyment or whether they're buying it because they want to submit it to get graded and put up on their wall, to have what they're getting, come in the best shape I can possibly send it. Of course, once it's handed off to the goblin post office workers, you never know what's going to happen. But you got to roll for initiative, right?
Right. Those Gemini packaging is about the best you're going to get. I mean, besides,
and I bag and board all my comics too.
Okay, yeah.
That way they're double protected.
So you got some stretch goals coming up, stickers. I like that.
Yeah.
You got Dirk there. Stickers.
I like the stickers.
I love stickers.
Stickers.
Yes, and they're UV resistant, waterproof. My friend has had one on her car for 2 years, and it's still the same color and hasn't peeled off. We ran it through the washing machine, so they're pretty World War III indestructible.
That's good stuff, and I mean, you got a bunch of stuff coming up too.
And on a car there in Phoenix.
Yeah, in a car here in Phoenix.
That's good stuff.
That is serious.
And I say this because I've worked in printing before, large format vehicle wraps, by the way.
Yep.
And usually the life expectancy is usually about 5 years, but in extreme heat, you're looking at 2.5, maybe.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a good sticker.
I like these pins too.
Yes.
These pins are unique.
All the pins, I have 5 total pins that are available as add-ons. These are the 2 new ones. So these are 2 characters that are in the book. We've got multiple mermaids. We've got mermaids coming out of all the corners. But these are hard enamel. I already have them in hand. Like, they are already here, ready to rock and roll for anybody that backs the Kickstarter.
Nice.
And then I had ordered meow pins at the previous, and then moons and wolves. So I've done one new pin with every comic. And so I have all of those available.
That's cool. Little backstory on you.
Yeah.
What I should have done is grab this right here. No, there's still no bio though. I noticed. No bio. You're gonna have to use mine.
Right? It's gonna be great.
All right. Let's see. Let me take this down here and let me ask you some other questions.
Yeah.
Get this up here. Let me also put up that Kickstarter here so that while we're talking about this, hopefully people will go over and support you. That's what we want. Let's see. How long is this story going to be? Do you have like an arc or an end on this, or?
So I do. So I have like a whole like book written basically, and kind of where it's going as far as like where I've kind of estimated is it's probably going to be a 20 issue. So 4 trade paperbacks is kind of the goal right now.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be broken up into like books, like 5 issues per trade paperback. But ultimately, I think right now with the story that I have and the way that the artwork's been flowing, it'll probably end up being 20 issues total, which is going to be a couple years project in a row. But we'll get there eventually.
Nice.
It's a lot of work, especially a lot of work to be doing mostly on your own.
You know, it's just a passion project for me, and each comic book pays off the student loans, you know, 1 comic at a time.
There you go.
Hey, that's good. That's good. You got to figure out how to do that somehow.
Paying off student loans has got to be enjoyable somewhat.
It's the best part of being a grown-up.
Right. Right.
I'm gonna run your stuff down below there. Are you nervous about getting to your goal? Or do you think you got it wrapped up?
You know, so this usually my goals has been 1,500 in the past, but I went a little heavy on variant cover artists this time. Some of the ones that I picked were a little bit more well known, and so they tend to be a little bit more, you know, more expensive because they're more in demand. So my goal this time was 2,000. Now, I will say I'm not super concerned about hitting 2,000, although I don't know if we're going to, I was hoping to get at least 10% more than the previous issue. And so only time will tell where we land with that. But as long as it funds, I'm happy. And as long as people like Wolf and I and want to keep following the story arc, you know, that's where we're living.
I mean, you're definitely presenting something that's, you know, popular as can be. I don't think, not only do I not think that 2,000 is too much, I mean, you could go much further than that. I think if you get, you know, if you get the right eyes in front of this thing.
And I think that's the struggle that I have. A lot of the indie creators that I am friends with or that I've cross promoted with, they're all doing like adult books or horror books. I don't have a lot of connections in the teen fantasy genre because my book it's not for everybody. It's not for kids. It definitely has a little violence in there. There's some fight scenes. There's some like innuendo. So it's definitely teen rated. And so it's kind of hard to hit that exact audience because a lot of the audience that I'm hitting is not necessarily on Kickstarter. You know, they're at these Comic-Cons, they're, you know, or it's the parents that are looking to buy for their kids. But to be honest, as a mid-30s adult, like I love young adult stories. I love young adult. And I think that's the big thing is, you know, just because it's a teen rated young adult comic doesn't mean it's only for teens. Like
certainly not.
You know, the story is engaging enough.
Harry Potter did okay with that.
Oh,
it wasn't just 13-year-old boys that read that.
I mean, take a look at Cartoon Network's Adventure Time, Steven Universe, and my favorite, Regular Show. Because
I love regular show.
Yeah, that comedy was so far, it hit that line. So yeah, there is an audience out there for it.
I think it's just finding it, getting the right eyes on it. That's going to be the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
And especially with Kickstarter, when I first started Kickstarter and launched my first issue, there were 50 to 100 comics like live at that time, like hardly any. And now when you go on Kickstarter and you look to see how many comics are live, I mean, there's hundreds. So it's the competition too. And, and one of those things I take with a grain of salt is like, there's a comic for everybody. Not everybody's financially able to, throw the money down like at that time that it's live.
People have
especially
gas
now
bills
with
pay.
gas. And I was like, it makes me cringe because I've been in an electric car for over 10 years. And so when I see gas prices, makes me cringe.
Oh, God bless. It's terrible.
But I think that it's important that you're doing something that you want to do, and as long as you're doing that, then ultimately, I mean, that's a reward unto itself. I mean, obviously you want the project to be
successful,
where you can continue doing it, and and hopefully successful enough that you can fund several issues off of a current one or whatever. But I think ultimately as a creator, the best part I think of being a creator is where you do something that you want to read and you enjoy, and even if it's like this isn't what's popular or what, like you said, like everyone that is doing like horror or more adult themed stuff or whatever, you got to follow what you want to do. I think, what would you want to make? Because there's so much stuff out there that I personally am not interested in. I want to make stuff that I want to make or I want to see.
Yes,
so
that's always the impetus for everything I do. It's like I wish I could go pick this up at the store. I mean, I don't know if other people want this or not, but I do.
Yes,
so that's like me. I miss giant robots and space. Space.
Yeah.
No, and this is my passion project. This is my baby. Like, I love it. Every night that I get to work on the art, every time I get to talk to somebody about it, whether they pick it up or not, like I just love like that, this dream, this story, these characters that have been living in my head for the last 15 years are finally like becoming substantial. When I started the story 15, it may be even longer than that ago, like it was going to be a traditional book, but it was just like, you nitpick at yourself. You're like, well, what if I change this? Well, what if this isn't good enough? Well, what about this? And what, if I go this, then I have to change this whole storyline and add in this character. And so finally, it was 2020. It was pre-COVID. Like this was like beginning of 20, or this was like big 2019, like rolling into 2020. And, I was coming upon graduation and I was like, you know what? Like, let's do it. Let's just start it. And the best way is if I put out a comic book, then there's no going back. You start it and you put out one issue and then you put out the next issue, and it may not be great. And you're going to learn things along the way. And, when you print a trade paperback, you can go back and make, put out, the refurbished version once you learn things.
The 4K version.
Yeah. But it's like, at least you can, say like, I started this, I did it, and I can keep going on it instead of saying, oh, I've had this book that's handwritten, half typed, half pages with red marks and black lines and arrows and side comments that's been in a box for 15 years and never gets told. Yeah.
Before we go on, I want to say if anyone who is watching or any of the panel has a question for you, please interrupt me and make sure that you get your question out there.
We didn't get into the printing part.
We will.
Yeah, exactly.
We will. I'm not done. I just
want to hear about.
I just want to plant. I want to plant the seeds.
And there are some comments. It looks like too.
Yeah. We have a couple comments here. First from Damon. He says, "You said you were an artist by night. Is that when creativity strikes you? Creativity used to come to me at night. Now that I'm older, it's just tiredness and achy joints."
I
feel that.
I agree. I do feel that some nights. I will say, you know, I work 8 to 5 seeing patients, and then I come home, and so you take the practitioner hat off, and you put the mom hat on, and you make dinner, and you spend time with your kids, and you get them to bed, and then you take the mom hat off, and then you got 2 choices. You can go to bed early, or you can let the creativity hit you, and that's kind of my like wind down time when I can, you know, let the day's events kind of just sit to the side and let the creativity flow. And some nights it's tiredness and achy, and you're like, tonight's just not the night. And maybe tonight's the night that I make a cup of tea and read somebody else's story, or, you know, do something else that's, you know, that's the big thing. I think people every night like go and do the same thing over and over and over, and then they get burnt out, and then they get tired of it, and they put it to the side, and they don't have the passion for it. And what I found, you know, and I do a lot of things, what I found is like I break it up, you know. I'm like, tonight's the night I want to draw, tomorrow's the night I want to play the cello, the next night I just want to read a book, the next night I want to bake French macaroons and scones. You know, you just kind of find where the muse hits you and keep your life balanced.
Damon also says, speak that truth, Scott. All that matters is that you're doing what you love, which is exactly what you're talking about there. Also, Ashell says, I absolutely love your story. My favorite genre of books is young adult teen. It sounds incredibly entertaining and could hold my interest, which is difficult, she says.
Listen, young adult is just the best. It really is.
Well, there you go, Ashell. You better get on that Kickstarter, Ashell.
I think that,
Kickstarter.
honestly, I like young adult because they play with genres the way that I like. A lot of the older stuff it's real hardcore. It's like, you know, like science fiction. That's like, you know, there's different levels of science
dystopian, like
thick
and political, and then
and if it breaks out of that, then people won't do it. Young adult stuff is like
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
And that's a lot
You're
of
like,
fun.
Wait, there's a dragon, squirrel.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just trying to read about vampires. Like, it's very simple. That's all I want in life.
Yeah.
As we can tell, I never grew out of my Twilight phase, and I'm proud of it. But
yes, ditto.
That's
ditto
okay.
There.
I've never broken out of my Transformers craze, so you know. Or my G.I. Joe. Those are my 2 favorites.
Fairness for life.
So, fairness, yeah. Although, you know, I'm also a Lady J fan, so.
One of the things I wanted to mention is that I went through your Instagram account and look at all the art that you're sharing, and all of the art, like the things that we saw there, the covers and stuff, and it's not getting the attention that it deserves, and it drives me absolutely insane. Does that bug you? Because you know that you've got good stuff there. I mean, I can tell you've got good stuff there. What is it? Why are people? What do we have to do? And talk about the frustration of fighting with social media, because it's frustrating to all of us who
we can talk about
work our ass off and then put something out, and then it just dies off. It's brutal.
I think that has been the hardest hurdle to jump or face, or kind of just like take a deep breath and try not to let it, bother me, is the social media. Whether you're a small account with 30 followers or whether you're a big account with 9,000 followers, I'm seeing not just me, but other creators I follow, and it's the most random things. You could post a picture of your toilet, and that's going to get hundreds of thousands of likes.
Yes.
And you could put a picture of a piece of artwork you just spent the last 36 hours working on, and it'll get 10 likes and 2 comments.
Yep.
And so I think that's been really frustrating, because I've had a lot of people, especially with the previous Kickstarters, I've had a lot of people be like, I follow all your social medias. I'm on your mailing list. I follow you on Twitter and Twitch and TikTok and Facebook and all the places. And they're like, I did not see a single post, single post about your Kickstarter. Not one. Yes.
Yeah. They're burying you for some reason.
Mm-hmm. And I've tried the Facebook pay $20 and let more people see it. And it really didn't do any diddly squat. I'll be honest. It was like, here's It reminds me of the South Park reference where they go and tell them to invest money in a bank. Like he brings his little son to the bank and he's like, all right, here's my allowance. Like put it in the bank, and the bank guy's like, and it's gone.
Right.
Right.
And you're like, wait, no, but that was my money. Like
there's also a way back in the day, a Two Stupid Dogs bit where the two dogs are trying to get $1, and this guy says, I'll have you on your way to making $1 for just $10,000.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I think I talk about this a lot because in another life, I help people with, social media and engagement and branding and that sort of thing. That's kind of, my side project. And it amazes me that people who are putting out really great content are having difficulty finding some traction. And sometimes people come to me, they have less than 1,000 followers. And it's like, I don't understand what's going on here. It makes no sense. You have this incredible, the content is there.
Yeah.
It should be huge. And yet it's just not getting the traction. And I think my solution to that is be the change you want to see, which is help other people out. Help other people share, comment on their stuff, like their stuff, whether you're a creator or not, but especially if you're a creator, what are you doing? You're not sharing other people's stuff. What?
They're not going to share yours back. That's why I do a Kickstarter Share Sunday almost every week on Twitter.
Great idea.
I'm like, share your Kickstarter, share your Indiegogo, share your comic shop. If you don't, have a live campaign, share your work in progress videos with
idea.
So that people can see. And that's helped a little bit, and it helped, engage with other people. Because I'll admit, I check, during lunch breaks and coffee breaks, and I don't see half of the people that I follow either. I specifically have to go to their page, and see if they have any new posts.
It drives me nuts that some people go like, wow, that's really cool. Where have you been? It's like, I'm right here. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I'm here like multiple times a day. I haven't got, I haven't seen your stuff in 6 months. It's
that's
I'm
what
posting
I hear
multiple times a day.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what I heard when I was on my...
internet's broken.
Yeah. We love the algorithm, God.
Well, when I had issue 3 running on Kickstarter, learning things. My first Kickstarter, I wasn't on any shows. I did my own live shows and posted on my own social media, but it was mostly friends and family. And then issue 2, did fairly well. I did a couple shows. And then issue 3, I really got on a few more like live shows. And I had people that were like, I have never heard of you ever. And they're like, where have you been? Like, I wish I would have joined the wagon, 2 issues ago, but like, I didn't know who you were. I didn't know that you were even a thing.
Yeah. It's unquestionable to me that your audience is out there. They just haven't found you yet.
Right.
Yeah.
You have millions of people who would love what you're doing. Are you kidding me? It's just finding the magic to get
the magic crowd.
Yeah. Whatever the spell is to make that thing happen. That's the thing is finding that, special blend or whatever to get you out in front of other people. This doesn't hurt, being on here doesn't hurt, but this is just one step and
one avenue. Yeah, one step in the right direction, one avenue. And that's the nice thing I love about like cross promoting with other individuals, because not everybody that follows you for your art or your costumes or your baking or just you as a human is going to want your comic book, because there's an art style for everybody. There's a comic for everybody. And there's 2 different people. There's the people that want to back it for the interior content. And there's the people that want to back it. There's 3. There's the people that want to back it for the interior content. There's the people that want to back it for the variant cover collectible edition. And then there's people that are just collectors and they are just supporters and they just go out and, help other people. And so, that's the great thing about cross promoting and sharing other people is you don't know who of your followers is going to, want to jump on somebody else's campaign or which of their followers, not necessarily wants to get their stuff, but a diehard get on your campaign.
Yeah. Damon says, from his experience on YouTube, he's found that social media does not care about creativity at all. and that's true to a point. I will tell
I
you
would
that
disagree with that, to be quite
they
honest
will
with you.
they will push, like if you do art tutorials. I just said maybe I should do something on flatting, because if you can explain something like flatting, someone might be interested in learning something, and then they find your creative work through the tutorial stuff.
The social media is really weird, because I post artwork. I don't post artwork all the time, but and Dirk can attest to this. Like, I'll post artwork and I'll get maybe 3 to 12 likes, but I'll post a picture of a car livery that I did for a video game for Gran Turismo, and I'll get 50, 60 likes on it.
Yeah. It's always the stuff that, like, you spent no time on. It has no value to you at all.
It has no value. I don't really gain anything from it. It's cool.
Like, celebrities are retweeting it, and
I don't really get anything from it. But,
I've had good luck with reviewing like art supplies and stuff. It's the funniest thing, but just like, hey, or maybe like a drawing book or something. Hey, I picked up this figure drawing book, and I'll flip through it and talk about it, and some of that stuff gets a lot of views. It's strange, but reviews seem to work pretty good for me.
I will say, though, as someone who's not into, like, I don't want to say not into art, I don't follow like any kind of artist. I still have come across some amazing ones, just like small artists. And Dirk, like I've showed you, so like I would just randomly come across like a retweet of like a artist. I love their style, and I would commission them because I like hanging art on my walls, and like just like, and I don't follow these people. They just pop up, and just like I'm just gonna show it off, like one of my corpse arts. Come on, the focus. It's hard. The focus. It doesn't want to. That's one.
I'm gonna put you up
like,
here.
Like I love
cool.
it. Like,
oh, nice.
Just people randomly found on corpse Twitter, like, and just like, and I don't follow anyone like that. They just showed up, so I don't know about the whole social media doesn't like care about creativity, because like there's no reason I should ever like come across that, but I have, and I'm so happy that I have, because like I adore these. These are my favorite. I was so happy.
You bought a page off of one of our guests. You bought a page off of one of our guests.
I did. I still haven't gotten it, and I'm still upset. The Batman.
Oh yeah,
I got the Batman, and I can't wait for it.
Sean says, "All right, I back the catch-up tier. I'm ready to be overwhelmed. Very excited to see your work, Krista."
Oh, thank you so much, Sean. I really appreciate it.
And by the way,
he's the guy who designed our logo, Sean.
Hey, Sean, what's up?
Hi, Sean.
Sean is an artist unto himself. He's a ranking
Sean, I
studio
missed
guy.
you.
Yep. There you go. Thank you, Sean.
We haven't seen Sean in a while.
I know. We need to talk horror movies.
There you go. Damon says he's going to put a little self-promo out there. He says there's a few stop motions and what is that?
Diorama.
Oh, diorama builds. It's VX Films. Let me know if you sub, and I'll follow you back. There you go.
How do you guys say that word?
Dio, but it's diorama.
Which word?
Diorama?
Diorama.
As opposed to what?
Diorama.
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 Diarrhea.
Tomato.
Diarrhea. It all flows the same.
Krista, it's a joke because they always like make me fun of my accent. I'll make fun of my accent, so that's why I like to point out different words.
But we love your accent, Casey.
Pronounce armbar.
I like Twitter. I like the way she says Twitter.
Twitter?
Yeah.
I do too.
I love that.
I do too.
If anybody
everyone in SLG makes fun of me because I say amba, which is ridiculous because everyone else in Massachusetts like says it the same way, but they only make fun of me for it. I'll never get over it.
It's out of love.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Half of them are Melissa.
Okay. It's out of Lerv, as we like to say around here.
Out of Lerv.
All right. Krista, you went
You
to
people
a
in Texas
convention.
talk funny. I learned that.
We do.
Go
Particularly
on.
in Texas.
Krista, you went to a convention this weekend. Tell us about it, please.
Yeah, so I went to Phoenix Fan Fusion, which is the local comic convention here in Phoenix, Arizona. But a bump, and it was fantastic. It was my first like major Comic-Con back, like in person. Not since pre-COVID, but since pre-college, so like 5 or 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I was doing Comic-Cons and selling my art and my stickers, and then I took a break because I went back to get my master's and my doctorate, and I was graduating in 2020, and I'd paid for my booth at Phoenix in 2019 because 2020 was going to be the year that I, graduated, showed off my comic, came back into the Comic-Con world, and then of course like COVID happened. So I was very excited to be back. It was busy. There was a good mix of people looking and a good mix of people who were like wanting to get art and stickers and comics, and lots of cosplayers dressed up, and it was just almost like a family reunion rekindling. You don't realize how many people you only see once a year at Comic-Con who you're friends with on social media, but you don't actually get to see until you're like together in person. And so it's always just so much fun to get to see people, to get to meet up with people. And especially being a printer here in Arizona, like a lot of our customers that we don't see because we ship to them, we're at the show. So like getting to see people face to face too is always a great thing. And getting to tell people face to face about my comic and getting exciting about it. I had this giant, it's probably hard to see like where I'm at.
I see the wolf.
5 foot.
Full here.
I hung it up because I'm streaming from the closet. But this is my giant 5 foot by 8
Great
foot
acoustics.
banner.
That banner's taller than me.
Oh yeah, this thing is like 7.5 feet tall by 5 foot wide.
Wow.
And it's on metallic, and it's metallic banner paper, so it's
cool. I see that.
Super shiny.
Yeah. I like shiny.
So we had that like hanging from the back of the booth so everybody could see it from like rows away.
So you had a booth and you sold your comics?
I did, yeah. So I've sold the first 3 issues and variant covers at there, in addition to like other art that I've drawn and stickers that I've made and little handmade earrings and necklaces that I made.
How were sales of your comics?
It was pretty good. It was my first time selling comics like at a convention, so I wasn't sure how they would do. I definitely had a lot of people interested who followed on social media who just weren't buying at the time. And then so hopefully those will like turn over with social media into getting the digital version or the physical version through the Kickstarter. Phoenix Comic-Con has changed a little bit. Historically in the past, it's been a very like comic focused show. And this year felt a lot more like an anime con. And so that was kind of, a different feel to it than your traditional Comic-Con. I will say that Star Wars, the Star Wars celebration was going on the same exact weekend. And a lot of the vendors and a lot of the people that normally go to Phoenix Comic-Con ditched Phoenix Comic-Con to go to Star Wars convention.
Yeah. Casey Jane, hold on that for just a minute. I
was just going through.
I love you for no, this is great. You did the thing here, and I appreciate that. You're always really good about being prepared on these things.
I try my best. I was trying to see if there was a picture of the whole booth. I couldn't find like the whole thing.
We'll look for.
We'll get into this later.
I don't know if I ever like got a picture of the whole booth.
Oh my god! You gotta take a picture of the booth.
I did like halfway through.
That's the first thing you gotta do is take a picture of the booth.
Sorry, I'm also stalking your Instagram. I'm very sorry.
the personal one or the comic one? Because I have an Instagram just for the comic, and then I have an Instagram for
the one that's in
like,
your name
everything
right
else.
Okay,
the
one that's in your name right now.
That's my like a little bit of everything Instagram.
Gotcha.
Casey Jane, go back to the kind of the twirling.
I love this so much.
Before we go to this, let me set you up here. last week, and you showed us a dress, and you said that you were going to be wearing that at the convention, and you obviously did because we have pictures of it.
Pictures and videos and more.
So explain what the dress was, and then we'll show the pictures.
This is my passion project. I have a lot of passion projects. I just get excited about life and just start doing things.
That's a great attitude to have, though.
That's
so
awesome.
I've been sewing since I was like 8 years old. So I can't even do the math right now. More than 20 years, more than 25 years. And one of the biggest things that I wanted to make was Belle's ball gown. She's my absolute favorite Disney princess. I'm a huge reader. I read 50, 80 books a year on average. And she just I grew up watching her. And so I haven't done her yet until this year because I was a little nervous. I was like, was my skills good enough? Was I going to do it like how I wanted to? Could I find the right materials? And so finally this year, I'm like, I'm just going to do it. And so I went and I bought the fabric and I made my own patterns and I layered things out and I duct taped myself and saran wrapped myself to cut out like the perfect fitting top to be like the shape that I wanted. And it was quite a science experiment, but it all came together piece by piece. And then I put it together and I was Belle and I made hundreds of little girls' days, with pictures and hugs at Comic-Con. And so, of my favorite thing of Phoenix Comic-Con was probably dressing up.
I was going to say, it's good that you picked something that was real simple to do. Let's add this to the stream here. This is amazing. Here's the turnaround for this outfit.
Wow.
Look at this outfit.
Pretty.
It's insane. It's perfect. I mean, come on.
I could just see the little kids walking around and their eyes are just going, what?
Yeah, I definitely had a lot of little girls let go of their parents' hands and run down the hall to give me a giant hug.
Oh my gosh, that is the coolest thing ever. Let me share a couple of pictures, and then if you, I'll get Casey Jane, I'll get you to kind of space through a few things, see if we can get some other stuff. But I picked these two out just to show.
Oh yes. There was a Buzz Lightyear. He was so good.
He's the new Buzz Lightyear.
The new Buzz Lightyear. Yes. Yes. No, he was excellent. And it totally could happen. You had Barbie in Toy Story. Why not have a Belle dress, a Barbie dressed up as Belle? This is Toy Story 5, 6.
Sure. Why not?
The prequel.
And here, this is
right?
crazy. This picture here. How about this? Do you guys recognize this?
Oh, yes. The original Tick.
Patrick is just such a great human.
How cool is it?
Can someone give me a TLDR? Who is this?
Go ahead.
It's Putty from
Seinfeld.
He was also the first live action Tick.
He was the Tick.
Yeah, and he also was
plays
Joe.
Brock Sampson on
that's right. He's Brock Sampson on Venture Brothers.
The Venture Brothers, which is the coolest thing ever. I would have that. I'd have that on my gravestone.
Am I showing my age?
And Joe on Family Guy.
Yes.
Yes.
That's right. He is Joe, the one in the wheelchair on Family Guy.
That is correct. He has a
so
very
the greatest thing about my daughter is I was like, who is this guy, Esme? And she goes, the police. She didn't say the wheelchair guy. She goes, oh, that's Joe, the police officer from Family Guy.
Wow.
And I was like, oh.
How tall is he?
Tall. That's just him leaning over. I mean, I'm a short human. I'm like 5'2" on a good day. And so, he's at least like 6.5 feet. Like he hunched down to be closer to us. I kind of was hoping that he wouldn't so that you could see the height difference.
Because he could play Frankenstein probably.
Oh,
I mean, he's a big guy.
I know I'm 6'1" and I can tell that he's taller than me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's like Steve Shank height.
No, it was a dream to meet him.
Tall people.
And then that was one of my best friends and my booth babe, because of course you have to have a booth babe.
Of course. Naturally.
And a portion of my booth. And I had QR codes everywhere that links to all my social media.
Oh, smart.
Very smart. Although you didn't take a picture. Of the booth.
We got
take a picture of the booth.
We got a little bit.
I got a partial picture of the booth. So that's the poster
Mermaid.
that's here behind me.
Mermaid. Sorry.
Damon says, thanks, and I sub back to you, Krista. You should have way more subscribers.
We all
That's what
agree.
I'm complaining about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm complaining about. Are you kidding me? You're putting out all this material and stuff.
But
you should be killing it.
I will say things tend to blow up once they've been on this show. So, you know.
That's good, Walt.
I
hope that's true.
I don't mean like, explode and it's, gone forever in the ether of Death Starry explosiveness. But I mean, things seem to explode.
Today, Task Force Geek. Tomorrow, Good Morning America. That's all.
Yes. Yes, definitely.
No, this was just so much fun.
Justin says, wow, that is really good.
So now, would you make dresses for commission or like any kind of cosplay?
So I used to going back to school. Now that I work full time as a practitioner, I just don't have time. This was like my let's work on it for 10 minutes today and 10 minutes tomorrow and 20 minutes on a Saturday in between. My daughter plays hockey full time and my husband plays hockey full time. Plus we have the print shop. So a lot of my time, if I'm not at work, is either going to hockey, driving somebody else to hockey, or running the print shop. So
all right, that's
not as
fair.
much anymore.
Who was Captain America in the picture with you as Scarlet Witch?
Oh, that's my husband.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was probably your husband, but I didn't know for sure. Did you make his outfit too?
I did. Yeah, his chainmail top took me at least 36 hours and many love and blisters of one little jump ring at a time, crocheting it together.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of work. It may not have been on your. I don't know where I saw. I may have seen it on Facebook, but I think it's your header, is it not?
Yeah, on Facebook, it's my header.
Yeah, and again, great outfits. 2 really great outfits, and you both completely look the part.
Oh well, thank you. We like to do things together when we can.
That's cool.
Careful there, Casey Jane.
That's the second time.
Yeah, I'm actually really sad.
Don't worry about it. I'll tell you when you're older.
Oh, that was a perfect response.
One of the things that's great about your costume there is my wife and I were just at Disney World, and one of the complaints that I heard multiple parents say was that they would go to the parks and their daughters would want to spend hours in line waiting to see princesses. And several people complained because they're like, they need more princesses at the park because I spend most of my day waiting in line. So I'm sure at the con you were a huge hit.
Yeah, no, it was fun. I had a few parents that are like, oh my gosh, thank you. Now I don't have to take them to Disneyland.
That is awesome.
I was one of those children, by the way. My mother would wait in line for 3 hours just to see Ariel. Even as an adult, I'll still make her do it.
As an adult, I'll wait in line.
Oh yeah,
bring me all the princesses.
Or even for Halloween parties for Jack Skellington, I waited in line for 4 hours for Jack. No shame, it was so fun. I was dressed like him.
I think that my equivalent of that is if I went to the new Star Wars thing, I would want to meet Chewbacca and all that stuff. I mean, I want all of that.
I feel like
I want all the pictures. I want to meet them.
Yeah, when I went to Disneyland, which we're actually going in 6 days, I'm so excited. For my daughter, she's turning 10, and so we are having that's what she wanted for her birthday instead of a big party. So I'm super excited. I think I'm more excited than she is.
Yeah.
Don't let her know that. I know that.
But when we went to Disneyland last time, it was so much easier to meet the other characters. Like in Star Wars Land, they were there all the time compared to the princesses.
Yeah.
So
you know what? That kind of reminds me of the old Star Trek experience in Las Vegas. It was like once you got there, it was like, oh look, there's so and so, there's somebody dressed up. It was like they were all over the place, and it was real easy access. But you're right. I'm thinking about my last time to Disney World. I was like, I think the only princess I ever saw there that year was maybe Snow White, maybe Cinderella. I can't remember. So
nah, you guys see Ariel
too.
This is before Ariel though, when I last went.
What do you mean before Ariel?
What do I mean before Ariel?
Yeah. Was there?
There was no Ariel before Ariel. There was no Ariel when I went to Disney World.
Time before Ariel.
I can't even imagine that.
The antediluvian times.
Yeah.
What do you have there, Casey Jane?
I'm showing you when I waited for Jack because I dressed.
Is
like
that
Jack
for now?
Skellington.
Oh yeah. Okay. We're putting it up. Here it goes.
Like I had my dress.
Wow. What dress do you have on there?
I had a custom made Jack Skellington dress. I'm trying to get a better picture of it.
Oh
I'm
my
so
gosh,
sorry.
that
is from my
cool.
mother's Facebook. Oh, here's a better picture so you can see the dress. Let me move it here.
Oh,
wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But sorry, we were just talking about
it.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to show.
That is awesome.
Because we were just talking about waiting in line because we dressed like characters. That's why.
I love that sort of stuff. Let's talk about your print shop. We got to get that in. Tell us all
right. Well, let's see. We started Grimbill Designs, which is our print shop here in Glendale, Arizona, like 8 or 9 years ago now. So it's been quite some time, and it's grown, from not even a dream of a print shop to what it is now. So about 8 or 9 years ago, I was selling my art at Comic-Con, and I had some friends in the community, and a few of them, one in particular, like that was his life. I had a job and my husband had a job. And so art was our passion project. But this friend of ours, like, this is how he paid for the roof over his head. He paid to buy food to feed his kids. And we were talking one time, and he's like, I'm putting in orders for my prints and they're not getting delivered on time. They're giving me the wrong prints. The prints are stuck together, or they've got giant lines or scratches through them. They're double-sided, like lots of different issues. He's like, I've gone to multiple print shops and like, I haven't like gotten what I need. And so, us being, again, goes back to my giver roots. Like, I love to help people. I'm a huge giver, probably more than I should be, but you know what? It makes me happy and it makes them happy. So my husband and I, did the finances, and we're like, we're well off. We're doing well. Like, how much does a printer cost? We can print our own art instead of me having to like ship it from Vegas from the print shop I was using.
Yeah.
And we can help a friend out. And so that turned into printing for his friends. And then we applied for a business license. And then we upgraded our printer. And then we printed for their friends and printed for their friends and printed for their friends. And then we had to upgrade the printer again because that printer wasn't, up to snuff to printing, for what we did. And then we started printing for a local theater company, who then we started printing for a second local theater company. And then we invested in a comic book machine and a better cutter and we printed for some people who are doing tarot cards. So then we printed, got a corner cutter machine. And so we've just kind of like pieced out these pieces and kept upgrading. And we basically took all the profits from the company and reinvested it into better equipment and cooler things. And so we really specialize in the indie community. We specialize in getting really unique stuff out there for smaller press creators. We're not here to print 100,000 copies of one comic book for like big, well-known items. We're here for people that want to print 100 copies of their comic, 500 copies of their comic, to do like 10 variant covers and do 20 copies of each variant cover, to help the small guys out. Because that's what we're here for. Like, we want to see people be successful. We want, people's kids fed and roofs over their head and, and to be affordable. And so we haven't raised our prices in 9 years, even with the increases.
What?
Yeah.
Have you filled up your car lately, or?
I've been an electric car for 10 years. So.
Oh, that's right.
I have full solar.
You haven't filled up your car.
No, I filled it up with like gas, like air in the tires.
Right.
And I invested in solar about 10 years ago, and so we charge on solar.
That's amazing.
Nice. Yeah, I'm a big green freak. I've got chickens and a garden, and I bake my own bread and make my own kombucha.
Oh, I love kombucha.
See, we need to talk because I do my own composting. And I grow my own my little greens here and there. I mean, I still drive a gasoline powered car, but Texas.
You all start sounding. I think that's the hardest thing here in Arizona is down in the valley in the desert. Like, composting has been the hardest thing. But yeah, so we've expanded, and now we're like I'm living more in a print shop than I am in a house. It used to be a house with a little print shop in a little room. Now it's a print shop that I live in a little room in the house.
Right. Dana says you got your own comic book machine. You've just blown his mind.
Yes and no. I mean, I do have my own comic book machine. It's multiple machines. It's like a 5-machine process that's taking over my house. And as of last year, we now can make trade paperbacks, and we can do like metallic foil covers on trade paperbacks.
And you do low print runs. That is amazing.
I do low print run.
Yeah. So what was your first printer?
What was our first printer? Oh my goodness. It was a Rico. It wasn't the 7200, 7100. I don't even remember. It was one of like the beginner entry level Ricos. It was like 10, like between 5 and 10 grand. And we've upgraded 5 times since then. So
what is the name of the shop? Because we have a lot of people that print comics that are on here or watch here or whatever.
Yeah, so
we can definitely send some people your way.
Yeah, so our shop's name is Huron Villain Designs. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. The best way to contact us is through Facebook. We do have a website, but it's very like preliminary. Basically, we were just word of mouth until 2 years ago. We had a lot of people that were giving us flack for not having a web page, but I'm like, but why? I email everybody, or I talk to them on the phone, or I message them for Facebook. Like, you know, what is a website going to do for me? So I set up a website that has my picture on it and says, hey, look, you can talk to us on Facebook.
So am I correct? It is Hero Villain Designs.
Yeah, Hero and Villain Designs.
Hero and Villain. There we go. Let me see if I can adjust that. Hero and Villain Designs on Facebook.
Yep, I'm now following.
Sweet. So yeah, so anybody can reach out to us. You know, we've got like files that has, you know, samples.
I got someone to send to you right now.
You guys. We do stickers, we do banners, we do pop-up banners, big banners. We now do metallic banners. We also do regular vinyl. We do wall cling stickers. We don't do car wraps because I just don't have the patience to learn a new skill or the time.
I like that you're doing tarot cards. That's a project I've wanted to do for a while.
We don't do the boxes, but we do the cards. The boxes require a printer that won't fit in my house, nor do I have. Yeah, it's a big like flatbed printer. I'd have to get rid of the 2 cars and maybe fit it in my garage.
I will say the vehicle wrap thing, because I used to do that. It's really not that hard to learn, unless you want to do the application. If you want to do the application, that's another thing. That's actually where the money's at, though. But I don't want to learn that.
I don't want to learn that either. I'll print it. I mean, I can buy I've got the printer for it, and I can buy, you know, the sticker vinyl paper for it. But I don't want to learn how to apply it.
No, it
costs money like a nightmare.
It costs money to learn, but I hear once you learn it, it's worth it, because that's really where the money is on the application.
Right. So, everyone needs one.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's true. Ashell says, Krista, you are amazing with all you do and have done. I'm incredibly impressed with who you are.
Oh, well, thank you. I love to help people. I love, you know, healing kids. And I'm just always like on a new drive to learn something new. You know, every day is a new adventure. It doesn't matter how old or how young you are. You can always try something new. I mean, I was a video game store manager, and then I went back and got my nursing degree, and then I went back and got my doctorate and started a print shop, and you know, I bake and I garden and sew, and I'm like, what can I learn tomorrow? What can I do next? There's never any end. You know, if you can dream it, you can do it. And that's, you know, the motto that I live by. I mean, my grandparents in their 70s built their entire house pretty much from scratch.
Wow.
And so, you know, like I said, it doesn't matter how young, how old, like, don't give up on your dreams. Just try something new. And if it doesn't work, try something else. And if that doesn't work, there are hundreds of other paths that you can take or other things that you can do. You know, reach out to friends, watch videos, do tutorials. You know, one of my greatest, now my brain is I don't know if you've read Atlas Shrugged before, but I absolutely love it. And if you've ever read it, it's a very in-depth, detailed book. But basically, in the world, all of the greatest minds, the head of, in modern times, it would be like the head of Apple, the head of Google, the head of like all these places are suddenly disappearing. And what's happening is they're taking all these like genius, crazy, like smart people and putting them in their own society. But in order for them to live in their own society, they also have to learn like a trade craft and pull their weight in this society. And so it just really empowered me that you can always do something, learn something. You might not be the best at it, but at least you tried. And then you have a new skill under your belt that you can always perfect. You can do better. Or if it's not your thing, say, at least I tried. And now let's try something new. Let's try something different.
Yeah.
But I do highly recommend reading it at least once in your lifetime.
Before we wrap up your segment here, let's one more time make sure that everyone knows where your Kickstarter is. And here it is right here. It's kickstarter.com/project/flirtofvillainy/Wolf and I Waves of Dissonance. Get over there right now. You've got, you have 30 days.
Mm-hmm. We just started this journey.
But let's start, hitting some of those stretch goals. I want some stickers.
Well, there is a sticker add-on pack. There is a sticker add-on pack. So there's always stickers. This is just extra stickers.
The more the better for Dirk.
I want the damn extra stickers. That's
I want to see. I want to see your sticker wall there, Dirk. I know you have a wall of stickers. You have a sticker wall, right? Right.
You know what? I don't know what to do with stickers. Like I can
tell you all the things.
Like if you stick it on something, it's on there forever.
No.
That's hot.
No. There's yes.
You gotta put it on your sketchbook.
Sketchbook is good. I like sketchbook because I'll never throw the sketchbook away. That's a good idea.
I have mine on my iPad.
Oh wow! I mean, you're serious.
Well, it's the iPad cover. It's the protective front cover. No,
right.
They sell these books that you can buy, especially if you're a supporter of like indie things. That the inside is basically like the shiny, plasticky part of the backing of stickers. And it's for people who collect stickers. So basically, you get them with the Kickstarter you backed, or you buy a sticker, or you get a free sticker, that came with your coffee. What is that? Death Wish coffee, I think, gives you a sticker every time you buy a bag.
Yeah.
And so you can peel the back and put it in this like sticker book, and you can peel it out of there at any time. But then that way you don't just have like a box of stickers. It's like almost like a photo album, but of stickers. But you don't waste them because you can always peel them off because it's like sticker backing paper.
That is awesome.
That's genius.
Yeah.
I need one of those.
I need one too, for sure.
Yeah.
Scott, show your thing again. Let me put you up on the deal.
Show my.
There you go.
This is my sketchbook. I cover all my sketchbooks with stickers.
Yes.
That is awesome. He's got a couple of my stickers on there.
Yeah, there's. Oops, there and yeah. I'm a sticker collector for sure.
Stickers too.
And I'm building on my helmet here.
Walt, show yours. Yeah, let's see it.
So it's got my little thing.
And, that's cool.
And then of course Buc-ee's. You gotta have a Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's.
That's not Buc-ee.
That's a different.
Buc-ee's. B-U-C.
This is Buc-ee.
Oh, wait a minute. What is Casey? I'm going to Casey
This
James.
is Buc-ee.
No, that's Buc-ee. This is Buc-ee.
I would show my stickers, but I can't move my camera because it's a pain. I just have a bunch of stickers on my PC case.
Damon says put it on your Trapper Keeper.
Ooh, that's another good one.
Do they still do Trapper Keepers?
They still make those things?
I know somebody just got one at Walmart. Apparently they're available still.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would ever stop making those. They're the most fantastic thing ever.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, see, that's why I asked. That's why I asked about Trapper Keepers, because I figured that most people
Do I have one laying around here somewhere? I probably do, but I don't feel like leaking it out because
it's a notebook. It's It's basically a notebook that.
What did you notice?
Yes, I do have a 69 on my.
Nice.
The name escapes me right now, but he was a MotoGP motorcycle rider who died in a bad crash. So the place I worked at made a whole bunch of these in honor of him, and that was his number. He was actually, I think, from Tennessee or Kentucky, and he was a world-renowned world champion.
So he's the Dale Earnhardt of motorcycles.
He was the Dale Earnhardt of MotoGP. Yes.
Dirk, don't give me that face.
He probably appreciates that.
That's a compliment.
Praise
Dale.
He's like, that's awesome. All right.
Sorry.
All right. We're wrapping this segment up, and we're going on to our next segment. Here it comes. All right, we got Scott back again. And the last time we talked to Scott, hey, here's our segment. What's up with Scott?
Hey.
What's up with Scott? What's up with Scott? What's up with Scott?
So the last time we talked to you, you had 4 issues, all completed.
Yes.
You have everything except what, the covers?
Yes, I have not. Okay, so to recap, I just finished up a comic book called Heaven's Rejects that is going to be published by Source Point Press. The first issue is going to be in the June, I think it's June previews. I don't have the code yet, or I'd give you the code. Anyway, it's a 4-issue miniseries. All 4 issues are done. When we talked last time, I was done with my part. I've been done with my part for a while. I think I may have had some lettering to do when we talked, but we have the first 2 covers. I didn't do the covers. Alex Monick did the covers. She's done the first 2. I haven't seen the cover for 3 or 4 yet. I don't know if we've got it yet. But yeah,
and they're great.
Yeah, she did a great job. I was very nervous when the writer is written by a gentleman named Greg Wright, and when Greg mentioned that at the point that I had drawn them, I hadn't even thought about covers. I'd done a cover for a little ash can I did, but beyond that, I hadn't thought about covers. And so when he he floated the idea of somebody else doing the covers, I was very reluctant because as a kid growing up, I would always pick up a comic and there'd be this great, whatever, Gil Kane, John Byrne, whoever cover, you open it and it's somebody else and you're always disappointed. And so I was worried. Now that's not to say that Alex has not outshone me. She absolutely has. The covers are fully painted. But I felt like her style fits in with my style, so it's not quite so jarring if you can get beyond the fact that she does painted covers. But Alex has done, as far as I know, she's done 2 of the covers yet. The interesting thing is Alex has been picked up by, I think, Dark Horse to do covers, and our colorist has been picked up, which is a girl named Fabi. I forget the last name. And but she's doing work for Boom now, I think, or I made that reversed. Anyway, so our colorist and our cover artist have moved on to bigger and better things since working for us. But I've been doing. It is a good sign. It is a good sign, and I don't begrudge them any of it. By the way. They're both extremely talented. Fabi Marquise, I think is how you say her last name. But I've been working on all the little fiddly stuff like logos, and we wanted to do a logo for a title logo, which is like the swooshy and it says Heaven's Rejects. But then I did almost like an icon, I guess you'd call it. It doesn't have any lettering. It's just a pistol with a halo. The premise for anyone that missed my first appearance of Heaven's Rejects is 3 as Greg called them, 3 foul-mouthed angels that get kicked out of heaven's army and come to Earth and have to fight evil here on Earth and kind of make their way through life as we know it. So, anyway, did I answer your question? What was your question?
I think you did. You did good. I'm gonna share the screen here because you were asking opinions. So why don't we just put it on the show and see what people think? You created this page ostensibly for people who you might be interested in ordering. It's going to solicitation. When is that? Through Diamond, I assume.
Yeah, it's through Diamond, and I'll add the Diamond code to this when I get it. I think it's going to be in the June previews. It may be July, but I think it's June previews. I mean,
June is coming up.
The book comes out. The book comes out in September. So yeah, the book comes out in September. So with that, I don't know if that'd be the June or the July previews. That may be the July previews.
It's usually 3 months ahead. I
think. So it's probably the July previews then. This is a page that I built strictly for and this is the entire first issue, and it's strictly the idea was to point something I could point retailers to that they could look at to see if they want to order it. And so everything's there. I did it originally with like 4 or 5 pages, and Greg said no, add the whole thing. And I said, don't you think it'll cut into sales? He said, nah. So that's okay.
I didn't realize you had the whole because when I saw
the whole
it was 5 pages.
I added 5 pages. Then Greg said, no, make it the whole thing. Wow. So but that's okay.
I mean, this is colored and lettered. I really don't want to space through all of it. I want you to go buy the comic.
That cover is awesome.
Yeah, go buy the comic. Scroll down to the bottom though, if you would, or actually go to the top.
Whatever you want, man. Where do you want it?
Oh, okay. You're at the bottom. Go to the bottom. Sorry. Okay. See, there's my little icon. There's my icon I made with the pistol with the halo over it.
Why it just did that?
Because it was still loading all those other pages.
Oh yeah. Oh right. So it's going to keep adjusting probably.
Yeah.
My slow internet.
Anyway, I thought the pistol. Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool. So the idea is we'll sell merchandise with the icon on it. But Greg's blurb is at the top.
That would be cool on a t-shirt.
There's that great painted cover.
Oh yeah, Alex is really good.
The second issue is great too. But your art is also awesome.
Yeah, I like the colors too. The colors
really. As always is the case, colors are so important. People don't understand how. I mean, no matter good colors make good stuff look fantastic and bad stuff look better. I mean, I mean, colors really, bad colors, however, can destroy really good art. I mean, so it works 2 directions, but you got good colors here. And I think that's awesome. I think it's also awesome. I mean, for people who are interested, I think your episode was 87. You should listen to the story of what Scott went through with the publisher, and I mean, without a net, you did 4 issues.
Yeah.
You
did them all completely before you even knew what was going to happen with the thing, and they just kept going. Yeah, let's have another issue. Okay, let's have one more. And it's like anyone who's done a comic is like another issue. That's not a small ask.
Well, I mean, in reality, in the long, expansive story of my comic career, such as it is, the 4-issue thing is not that big a deal. The discouraging thing about I think about making comics is, and it kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier with social media, is the stuff that you do that just falls flat. At least this, I always had a publisher attached to it. I mean, from day one, the publisher put me together with the writer. So I felt like even though, I mean, and you say without a net, and obviously, I mean, and then people chided me and said, what are you doing this with, you need a contract, you need this or you need that. But, I talked to the publisher, I met the publisher and I talked to him, and sometimes collaborations online fall apart. And I feel like when you meet somebody in person, I mean, you meet somebody in person, you shake their hand, you look them in the eye, and it's like, okay, this is not that people don't get screwed like that all the time, but to me, sometimes that makes a difference, and sometimes you have to trust people. And so I felt like I could trust the publisher, but I mean, so to me, all the stuff that I've done, and I think we talked about that last time, is I've just done tons of stuff that. Somebody contacts me, oh, I've got a deal, and then the deal falls through, or submission. I've done tons of submissions over the years, trying to get, and it's just that, and again, like I said, it goes back to that thing we were talking about with social media, where you do something and you really put all of your hopes on something, and what was the deal with the money where you put in the bank and go poof, the money's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's exactly like that. And I think that unfortunately we live in a society and maybe I shouldn't say it that way, but I just think to be a creative person, you just have to be able to pick yourself up after that kind of stuff, because it can be very discouraging to have something fail or even not materialize, especially something that you thought was like, this is going to be my big break. And I've realized, you can't count on big breaks. You just keep on plugging. And I think that goes, back when, Krista was talking about doing her project, and it's like, you've got to just do something that you love, because everyone holds out this thing of, oh my gosh, if I can just do this and I can get picked up by the big two and my life will be set, or I can sell a Netflix deal or something. And that stuff, I don't think it very rarely does that stuff ever pay off like people
the lottery.
think it will. It's like hitting the lottery, and even if you get that break, I think a lot of times it's not the money that people talk about or think that it is. No. And so I think, and that's something that the publisher talked to me about early on, is he said, I've got people that do books for me, and I've got artists that they can't pay their bills because they're convinced that to be a quote real artist, a real comic creator, they've got to quit their day job and do this. And it's utterly ridiculous. You have to do what works for you. And he's like, hey man, if you can work a day job and make comics on the side, he said, you're gold, man. He said, do not let anyone look down on you for that, or don't let anyone disparage you, because and what I've found is that gives me the freedom to do the stuff I want to work on, and at the pace I want to work on. I don't have to scramble around doing whatever,
putting out a book every month
or pay.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I can produce what I want to produce, and I can work on the projects I want to work on. If I want to just draw, from now on, if I just want to draw comics for myself, I draw comics for myself, and So but you have to but
no one can ever take away that you have 4 issues of this series coming out. It's published by someone else.
Yeah.
It's going to Diamond. No one can ever take. It's a full story. No one can ever take that away from you.
And it also takes away, having a job and doing it at the same time takes away. And I honestly, that I went through this, is that if all you're doing is the artwork and there's no money coming in, you will kill yourself. Physically and mentally, you will kill yourself, because you need some money that's coming in right now, right here and now, because you have bills to pay. You have electricity, you have utilities. You need to put food in your mouth. If that's not there, and all you're doing is spending your time trying to hit this one thing by a deadline, when you're not going to get paid until sometime after that deadline, which could be a week, 2 weeks, 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, that's not going to do you any good. So I'll make sure make sure you have that job in there.
But I think a lot of it too, when you're talking about your comic, like I've been on panels with other creators and they're like, hey, I'm the creator of the zombie blah blah blah, this is my comic book, it's on Kickstarter, it's about a zombie. And then you have, I'm like, this is my comic book, this is my passion project, I love it, these characters live in my head, like this is why I love it. I have other characters that, other creators that are like that too, they're like, this is my baby, I love to work on this, like every ounce of my heart and soul and passion goes into this. And you can see the difference. Yeah, the zombie XYZ might be an amazing comic book, but somebody being like, yeah, I'm the creator, that's my comic, go back it, is not going to sell me to go support somebody. I want to help support people who love what they're doing and doing it because they love it.
Yeah, you have to. I think you have to love the process too. Mm-hmm. Too many people, I think, especially younger, they go, well, what do you want to do? Well, I want to write or draw comics. And so they put the job up on the pedestal. They put a job up on a pedestal, but they don't necessarily love the process, you know? And I think that you have to love the process of it, or you'll be miserable, you know?
Today, there was some news that Joe Quesada is going to be leaving Marvel. He's been with Marvel for over 25
a long time.
Years. And, became the creative director. And, he's been the guy who's in charge of Marvel Comics, which is not a small deal.
No.
And he says that he's moving on to other, projects and stuff. He's not getting out of comics, and he's going to go do something else. And I really think that he's seeing what's happening on Kickstarter and Indiegogo and all these other stuff, and how these big creators, people, the names, are banking hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. And he kind of put his creative, passions on a side burner so that he could run this company. He could run Marvel Comics. I think he would like to, for his next chapter, he wants a little bit of what you're talking about, which is, number one, doing a passion project, doing something that he really loves and maybe has never had a chance to do. And number two, I think that the money now, because of the crowdfunding, is really there for these guys who, if you have any name whatsoever, you have $100,000. If you're a big name like Joe Quesada, you're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe if not millions of dollars, if you can really stick the landing on whatever your project is. So I think that's exactly what you guys are talking about, but in his case, he's got that name that's going to bring that.
He's got some old projects from back in the day too that he's never finished too. So
I'm sure.
Was it somebody mentioned on the group page, Ash?
Oh yeah, I think that I think we're in the middle of a revolution here, folks, where anything goes. I mean, if you have a creative spirit and you want to get your stuff out there, whether you make a dime on it or you get a Netflix series, all of that is available to you, and you never know when they're going to call up on this stuff.
Who was that? The guest that we had a few weeks ago, the animator, said, "You're not trying to sell a comic book; you're trying to sell an IP."
An IP. Yeah. Can you make figures out of it? Can you make a series out of it? Can you? Yeah.
Will your character? Can we make a fireball throwing character? Will he have a fireball throwing suit? Will he have a nice? Can we make a nice little vehicle for him and all that kind of stuff? I mean, yeah. I mean, I when you think about it,
who would have thought The Boys would become like the huge thing that it has become?
It is the thing right now.
It
is the thing. It is the.
It's gotten really big. I see it everywhere now, but you got to take a chance. I think that's the biggest thing is, that I've learned over the last couple of years is you just got to take a chance and do it for you, and you never know who is going to love it.
I'm going to throw this out there to anybody out there watching. Wolf and I needs action figures.
I did think about doing I don't have action figures, but I do have Wolf and I custom whiskey glasses.
Okay.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm all for it. If you got any shot glasses with that. I only have 2 shot glasses in my collection. I need more. One of those I can't stand because it's Ohio State, and I don't have
I'm so sorry.
So, I don't know where that came from. It just wound up in my shelf.
Scott, we're running your stuff below. If people are interested in Heaven's Rejects, where should they go and what? I mean, we haven't determined whether they should start looking tomorrow for the solicitation to Diamond, or if it should be a month from now. But start if you do order stuff through your local comic book store, it's not too early to put that on your list. Put Heaven's Rejects on your list.
Source Point Press is the publisher. Heaven's Rejects. Add me on Instagram or Facebook and all that stuff, and when I get the ordering code, it'll be shouted from the rooftops.
And Scott, when you do, let's have you back on here again, even if it's for 5 minutes, or if you just want to be a contributor or whatever, and we'll
be tomorrow.
Sure that's great. We will definitely have you back on so that you can do this properly, so that you can get it out to the people. Because when you're soliciting stuff through Diamond, this is the big show. You have to be 3 months ahead of the game to make sure that all these comic shops know what's happening. Because if they don't know about it, they're not going to order it. They won't order it. They don't know what it is.
Yep.
And if they do know about it, they might take a chance with it.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And what's funny
3 months from now, it's too late.
What's funny is after I was on here last time, I did see like a bump in my social media and my webpage.
That's what. Thank you, Scott.
Yeah,
that's what we want to hear.
It was all directly related to my appearance on your show, but my social media got a bump in views and that sort of thing. So
good.
Yeah,
that's what we want to hear.
Yeah, thanks.
I wish we were bigger. Hey, like and subscribe here, folks. If we're bigger, we can help everyone else out too.
Right.
We're in the same boat with this, and all the people who are associated with it. I mean, almost everyone who is associated with this has some projects that they're working on, or they have some ideas about stuff, or they have, internet presence that they're pushing, whatever the case is. So,
because one of these days we're going to broadcast from a show, from a convention.
I would love to do that.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah, that'd be great.
The only downside is usually at conventions, the signal is awful.
It has to be terrible.
So, as I can attest, I tried to just even post that we were at convention, and my post posted at 6 p.m. instead of at 9 a.m.
Oh, no. That is no good. That is no good. Let me get a couple of comments here, and we will go to our last segment. Shell says, why don't I have a dark sticker? I'll hook you up. I had no idea you didn't have one. I thought for sure I gave those out. Because you
weren't at OFCon.
Right. OFCon, big OFCon in Norman. Now, she was down in Dallas, though, and I was giving out stickers. For some reason, I didn't get her stickers. So
you know what? I never saw Michelle the whole time she was down here in Dallas that time.
I will hook you up, Michelle, and I will hook you up, Casey Jane. I only have a couple of stickers, but I want more stickers.
I still want my big dark energy tank top.
You're gonna talk to Walt about that.
I know.
That's Steve. That's Steve.
Oh, Steve taking care of that.
I don't care. I don't care who designs it. I just need it. I just need it.
Also, Brian James says, "Oh my gosh, Brian James says, Mr. Hooper, you and Walt are icons. It's not fair for people who aren't alive right now to miss out on both of you at the same time."
And all this time we were talking about we miss Sean. You know?
Absolutely.
Miss Sean.
And Michelle wants those Wolf and I PVC mermaids.
Ooh, that would be cool. We are talking about doing a Wolf and I plushie when we launch the trade paperback.
Nice.
So. Oh, a plushie.
Yeah, a wolf plushie and a meow plushie has been my two most requested
Oh my gosh,
stretch goal add-ons.
What kind of manufacturing is required on that thing?
I don't know.
Oh, well, there's a company out there. If you send them a photo of your pet, they will make a plushie.
Yeah.
So,
there's
really?
a couple of
Yeah.
Because I'm always liking people's dogs and I follow all sorts of animal rescue organizations. I get their advertisements on Facebook all the time.
All right, we're moving to our next.
So I found some really exciting news that I just realized because they didn't tell me, but I think Wolf and I got Project We Love status.
Oh, nice.
That's due to Task Force Geek.
I was scrolling and
great.
I was scrolling on the front page and I saw this little icon that says Project We Love, and I was like, wait, what?
I mean, that is
we will unapologetically take credit for that.
That is
it was like a ninja move.
Congratulations. That could make the difference. That could be the thing you've been looking for.
That's
simple
the
thing
first
right
time
there.
in 4 issues that it's happened too, which is really exciting.
That is huge. Because that's
I told you being on the show.
That's the thing that's the silly coincidental thing that could absolutely put you out in front of everyone. So that is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, did that just happen, or did that
I don't know.
It
wasn't on there the last time I checked it. I just was scrolling to see like where the Kickstarter's going, and then the icon is now like under the main picture. Where it says like comic books and where it's located, it now has a Project We Love status icon.
Oh my gosh, that's
very
when
cool.
you get off this.
I'm a little like
tweet.
Excited.
That's
I think
your first
my face
tweet.
is going to be like permanently frozen up here.
Hey, Krista, I didn't get to talk to you because you came in after the deal, but we have maybe a couple more segments. Can you hang out, or do you want to?
Yeah, of course.
You need to get off? Okay.
I need to eat dinner at some point because I jumped
As
straight
do
on
I.
here from work.
I get it.
But I can hang on for a few more segments.
Okay, yeah. You know, if you need to bug out, we will still give all of your links and props and stuff, and you just tell us what's happening. All right, we're moving on to the next segment. Here it comes. The red alert is that Krista just got this great thing through Kickstarter. But in addition to that, here comes our next segment, which is What Up with Casey Jane.
Oh, hi. Oh, God. What is an up with me at this point? So
it's been a little while since we talked to you.
Has been, yes. In my defense, I was very busy.
I know. Traveling the world and doing stuff.
No, not that. Exams.
Oh, exams.
I'm officially a board certified nurse practitioner.
Congratulations.
Nice.
Love doing that.
Not a small thing.
Although it wasn't.
That was easy.
Oh, congratulations on that. It is not an easy thing to achieve.
No, it's not easy.
But I decided I am not going back for my doctorate. I am all set with that.
You've had enough with the tests.
Yeah, I don't need a doctorate. I didn't even need my master's, but I just went for it anyway because I'm not changing jobs. I'm literally staying where I am.
Right.
I just did it, but it is what it is. I love what I do. I'm the complete opposite. I am not peds. I cannot deal with that. I'm geriatrics.
There's something for everybody in medicine.
So you're on opposite ends of the spectrum.
I am Jerry Psych. But yeah, I was doing that. I did WrestleMania. I did WrestleCon. I did not see Walt.
Yeah, we were missing each other. We were like missing each other. It was like, just miss you like by 2 minutes, like literally 2 minutes.
I literally told my mom, I'm like, wait, they're here. Can we go back? And she's like, no, we're going back to the hotel. And I'm like, okay, Mom. But yeah, WrestleMania was so fun. I met my Danhausen.
Danhausen was cool. I got to talk to him for a little bit too.
Before you go to that,
yes,
did you attend the big induction ceremony of the Undertaker?
Yes, I did. I think we talked about that. I think I have been on the podcast since then. I think so.
Yeah, you were. She has been on since then.
Has she?
But there was something else that you did afterwards, though.
Okay, talk about that.
Or we just had
afterwards.
I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't know what I did.
It was like after WrestleMania. You didn't do anything else after WrestleMania? No? Oh, it's just working and schooling.
At that point, it was exam time, so no, I didn't do anything.
So you've been buried in exams.
And then boards. Had to study for my boards. Not fun. But
okay,
it was fun. It worked.
You also met a wrestler.
I met a few. Yes.
No, you'd had some video with a wrestler. Who was that?
I met Danhausen.
Okay, explain who that is.
Danhausen, he is a wrestler. He is very nice and he is very evil.
He's very. I find him very hilarious.
He is from parts unknown. He claims to weigh 300 pounds and is 6'7".
He does not look 300 pounds.
No, he claims to be 6'7" and weighs 300 pounds.
All right.
I will share the photo if you would like.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I'm ready. I have it ready. Don't you worry. I'm prepared.
All right. Here it is.
I went to WrestleCon, and this was a last-second decision.
WrestleCon
just to meet him. I didn't care about anyone else. I literally went. I paid the entry fee just to meet him, and then I left after him. I literally, and I got my autograph, which says CJ Housen, because that's me. I'm CJ Housen, and yeah, it was so much fun. He's hilarious, and he's like
great.
Really like down to earth. Like we talked for a little bit, and it was great. But my mom was like completely like, I won't swear. What the F? Like what is this? My mom doesn't watch wrestling. I dragged her down with me. She didn't get it at all. She's a Stone Cold Steve Austin kind of girl back in the 90s. This is like, really? And I'm like, yeah. Like I'm having fun. Yeah. So I did that. On Friday the 13th, I got a tooth tattooed because he has a thing with teeth. And so I got a tooth tattooed, and I named it 2000. I can show you a picture of it. I'm not showing on camera. Unless anyone wants to pay for that, then you can please contact Dirt. I shared.
All right. Well, I'm putting this up?
Yeah, that's fine. I named him 2000. It is the dumbest thing.
I'm glad you said that, not me.
Oh, I'm very aware it's dumb. I have all tattoos. I have 3 tattoos that have actual meaning.
Everything else is just for fun, right?
Bro, I have a Jeep tattoo.
You drive a Jeep.
Who gets a vehicle tattoo? Me. It's fine. It builds character.
Steve Shank.
But no, Steve, no.
Wait, what? Do you have a vehicle tattoo?
No, he doesn't.
No.
Oh. I'm surprised he doesn't have like airplanes all over.
Oh, by the way, rocking that Marine Corps flag on that Jeep.
We don't need to talk about that right now. It flew off.
Oh no.
I cried. I had it on for 30 minutes. So for those who, most people don't know this, my grandfather was a Marine. We are very much a Marine family. And so I fly flags on my Jeep every summer when I take the top off it, and I put the Marine flag on it this year. Except the flagpole that I got wasn't the normal one I got. The clips that hold the flag up snapped. No. I'm on the highway. It went. I cried. I was crying so hard. Thank God no one was behind me, first off.
That's good.
Yeah. So I ordered a new one already, and I'm gonna get the same flagpole that I have for my other flags. So we'll be fine. But yeah, that was fun. Great time. Can you like my nervous laughing? Because I am. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been doing, really.
Okay, there was a video where you were at like an event.
We're not talking about that. We're not talking about that.
Oh, really?
No.
That's super secret?
Drama, we're not talking about.
Oh, okay.
Drama. Drama.
It caused
Drama.
problems.
All right. Well,
Sorry,
don't
can't do that.
No, that's fine. So
We'll talk about that off show.
We've got you. All right.
Maybe for an after dark show for a task force.
Nope, this is not being publicized. I'll explain after.
Shell says, "Don't get me started about tattoos."
I love dumb tattoos. I live for dumb tattoos. I would get a paperclip tattooed if I really liked paper clips. Like,
how about a Cobra Commander?
Ooh, I know nothing about that at all.
Oh wow!
I have 4 tattoos.
There you go.
All right.
Like, I literally have my own hand like this tattooed on me. Like, I
nice.
don't care. It's the 2 like kind of pinky promise. It's my hand because it has like my tattoos on it, and it has my nails. When I had my claws before nursing, I had 1.5 inch claws.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I loved my claws. And I have my 3 dots tattooed, and it's me in a skeleton hand doing the pinky promise, and it just says "thick as thieves." Dumb. I don't care. I'm having fun.
Hey. You do what you do. You.
Listen, the only rule is you can't see anything in my scrubs.
Yes, this is true.
You can't see anything in my scrubs because especially, it's definitely getting more acceptable now.
Mm-hmm.
But not when you work with the geriatric community. No, it's not.
And not when you work with peds.
No. Yeah. Oh God, I can't do peds. I'm sorry. That was I hated it. That was my worst clinical. Terrible. I don't like kids, but I especially, you know what I hate more than I hate kids is sick kids. I don't like seeing kids sick. I might not like them. I still don't want to see them sick.
No, that's tough.
That's gut-wrenching.
That is literally my excuse for hating it. But nonetheless, I digress. It was a much better cardiac post-op in the ICU. That was my sweet spot. But yeah, that's what I've been doing is just working.
Well, that's cool. Nothing wrong with just working.
Yeah.
All right, so we're caught up with Casey J.
As far as I know, yeah, my life's not that interesting.
I disagree.
I'm trying to think. I went to AEW, and that's about it.
That's what it was. AEW.
Yeah. I went. They came to Boston 2 days after WrestleMania.
That's right.
So I went straight from WrestleMania, got home, AEW the next night, and then WrestleMania Backlash. But that was like the month after because that was also here. So I went to WrestleMania and WrestleMania Backlash. It was pretty cool. I really like wrestling. Do not shake your head at me.
I am not the expert when it comes to wrestling at all. I was like, these letters mean very little to me. I'm smiling and nodding and wishing I had more tea.
I'll say all elite wrestling.
Listen, if it makes you feel better, that was me when you were explaining what flatting.
Flatting.
Yes. I don't know any of it.
All right. Well, we're going to move to On Blast.
Yes.
That's still my favorite one.
This is our final segment. We're going to talk about things that we have watched or things we've read or games that we've played. Just going to talk a little bit about something that we've enjoyed lately that we want other people to know about. And to get us started, I'm going to go to Walt.
First, new t-shirt.
Oh, nice.
That is cool.
That's cool.
T-shirt.
I like that a lot.
It's the service and repair manual cover, which doesn't exist. Let's see. I watched Stranger Things 4, which I'm not giving anything away by telling you that they broke it up into 2 halves. So,
of course. So
once you get through all the episodes, it's like, oh wait, there's going to be more in July. Really? So there's that.
See how they did that?
And, I had to cancel my plans to go see Top Gun Maverick.
Oh my gosh!
But I found out that thanks to, of course, my buddy Steve, that there was a video game download for Ace Combat 7, and you could fly F-14 with the original Maverick skin. So there's Maverick. If you like Val Kilmer, there's Val Kilmer's Iceman plane. There's Maverick's new F-18, his
That's pretty fancy
F-18 there. And then, of course, you've got to have the enemy plane, which is based off of a Russian plane.
5th generation.
We
said that 400 times in the movie.
Yeah, and there's more skins, that they provided for the game that are playable in the game, but that would also kind of give away the movie, so I'm not going to show those.
Right.
For those who haven't seen the movie, but I can just tell you this: that I have flown a couple of missions with every one of those and crashed unintentionally just to see the crash.
To see what happened?
Just to see what happens, So, but that's pretty much how I spent the week.
That's how you spent your Memorial Day?
Yeah. And sleeping quite a bit.
Sleeping is good.
I'll just say that the lawn didn't get mowed. I woke up, fixed breakfast, played a few games, went back to sleep, woke up, grilled some pork ribs and some chicken wrapped with bacon. Everything was, sweet and sour.
That sounds like good stuff.
Yeah. Ate a little bit of that and went back to sleep. Now, granted, all that stuff that I said that I did, I got all that accomplished before 3:00, even the eating part, and I slept the rest of the day.
Wow. Nice.
Like I woke up at 6:30 this morning after all that.
Wow. Michelle wants to know, where is Steve? He's not watching tonight. Steve was invited to be on the show tonight, but he had some honeydew stuff to do. And he had to watch Top Gun 2 more times.
Well, actually, he had tickets to go see it Thursday, the IMAX. And just as he arrived, he got a note that said the projector was broken.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I'd be so upset.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if he went through with it or not, but he was going to cosplay in his flight suit and everything. So I don't know if he was dressed up or not. So,
dude, I'm going to talk about Top Gun here in a minute, but after I got through with it, I thought that maybe he was like one of the executive producers, because that film was absolutely made for him. There is no question about that. Like everything in that film, was custom designed to appeal to him and to many other people who saw the original film, I think. All right, Scott, you're up. What on Blast? Tell us anything that you've been watching or reading.
Well, I mentioned earlier, my wife and I just got back from Disney World. We haven't had a vacation probably since right before COVID, so that was kind of nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Disney World is always a fun trip. It gets more and more expensive every time we go.
Oh, I can only imagine.
and I hate to say this, but there's problems everywhere hiring people, and apparently Disney is in the same boat, which you wouldn't think it would be.
Wow, yeah.
The service was noticeably diminished from the last time we had been there, but it was still a fun trip. It was still a well-needed vacation for both of us. In terms of other stuff that I've been doing, I recently have been on I don't know if you want to call it a retro kick or whatever, but I'm a member of a group dedicated to 70s and 80s anime. And someone in that group, yeah. So and I think that may be the name of it, like the golden age of anime or something like that. And somebody in the group said, "What is the most 80s anime ever?" And the answer, the consensus that came up was Bubblegum Crisis.
Sure. Yes.
And I've never watched Bubblegum Crisis, so I've been watching that.
Oh wow! Yeah. Sean just got a Blu-ray on Bubblegum Crisis.
Oh, really? I really enjoyed it. It's funny because I mean, and I didn't grow up watching a lot of anime, but if you held me down and said describe anime, I would probably inadvertently describe Bubblegum Crisis.
Sure.
But I'm about, there's 8 episodes. I've watched 6 of them now, and I'm really enjoying it, and that's kind of led me down this rabbit hole of other 80s anime stuff.
Yeah.
You'll have to watch the prequel series AD Police.
Right.
And then there was a second series, Bubblegum
Crash.
Crash. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a great documentary on YouTube about the making of Bubblegum Crisis that I watched that I really enjoyed a lot. Yeah. And then also I'm in a group that is that the name of the group is Cassette Futurism, which I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that, but it's basically like steampunk, if you're familiar. I mean, or cyberpunk, or it's one of these kind of aesthetic niches, if you want to think about it that way, whereas steampunk is like the Victorian past as shot forward in the future, or as depicted by H.G. Wells, or however you want to define it.
Sure.
Cassette futurism is the idea of the future as depicted in the 80s, which is really this really niche thing. It's a lot of like orange and formica, and it tends to be more of a visual aesthetic, but someone in there was a topic that I started. You never heard of it?
No.
Oh, it's very niche, but
it sounds awesome.
I love it.
It's pretty cool. Anyway, so out of that, I asked the question of cassette futurism in other genres. I mean, in other media, like. And so one of my questions is, what is an example of a cassette futurism novel? Because I needed to read something specifically on my trip, and there was a lot of things that came out of that, a lot of suggestions. But one of them, somebody suggested Larry Niven's Ringworld.
Oh yes.
And so I've been reading Ringworld. I'm about I don't know, about 2/3 of the way through that, and I haven't read that since I was a kid. I'm really enjoying that. It's kind of clunky in some ways, but it's nice to read. I'm enjoying reading science fiction where they have no idea what a cell phone is.
Yeah.
Right.
And computers are just a minimal part of it. And so anyway, so that's what I've been. So like I said, I'm stuck in the past.
That's okay.
Nice.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Ashell says, Scott, I'm disappointed you didn't bring me a plushie from my favorite place on earth. Which is
my suitcase was so full of souvenirs and T-shirts and stickers. I bought a ton of stickers that there wasn't room for anything else. If I had brought you a plushie, I'd had to leave my wife at Disney World, and that would happen.
That might have gotten you in trouble.
Well, somebody had to bankroll this project.
There you go. There you go. All right, Casey Jane, I'm coming to you. You are on blast.
I'm never good at this topic, and you know it.
I know. That's okay.
I've just been playing World of Warcraft, to be quite honest with everyone. Same thing as always. I'm not original.
Hey, whatever you enjoy is cool.
That's kind of it. I've only been playing World of Warcraft.
Have you not been listening to the Book of Wrestling?
What?
That Spotify podcast I sent you?
Oh, no, I haven't gotten a chance to.
Oh, you need to listen to it.
I'm sorry.
You need to listen to it.
Nothing wrong with playing your favorite game.
Good. It's so good.
I'll get on that. I know. I'm sorry. I'm procrastinating.
There hasn't been a new episode on it since last week though, so.
Oh, okay. We're fine then.
So you'll catch up.
What is your character like in World of Warcraft?
I am a demon hunter. So it's pretty much like a succubus. Shocking, I know. For me,
I can't believe that.
You picking a succubus?
I refuse.
No.
I refuse to believe that.
So pretty much what a demon hunter is it's literally someone who hunts demons. But I'm confused because like I am a demon, so I like making the joke of no, I'm a demon that's also a hunter. Like I don't want to hurt my people.
Oh, so she's a demon hunter.
Do you want to see my character?
Right.
I can get a picture up of her if you'd like, and you can get an idea.
I very much would like that.
Give me like 2 seconds.
All right.
My name is Furyhausen.
Of course.
All right, here we go.
That was easy.
If she wants to load.
Furyhausen.
That's
awesome.
me. That's
Here
me.
we go.
And then I have bat wings, so we can double jump. So I have bat wings when I jump because I glide down. Yeah. So yeah, that's my World of Warcraft character.
That is pretty cool. You don't have any shoes. How are you gonna run around?
How do you think I make money in the game?
And adventure?
People send me gold.
Oh my gosh. I'm glad I asked this question.
No, it's an inside
Suddenly
joke of why I don't.
Oh
My
God.
friend jokes about liking I don't want to say, I'm trying to figure out the word, the F word of things that people like a lot.
Right.
That one.
Podophilia.
Yep. And so he always is like, don't wear shoes. And I'm like, okay, my character won't wear shoes. And so that's how Furyhausen doesn't wear shoes.
Wow. All right.
And I make a joke. I go, I'm going to make so much gold in this game. I have had someone send me, and it's a minuscule amount, like 5,000 gold. It's so minuscule. But it was funny.
Sounds like a lot.
No, it's not.
I wish someone would send me 5,000 gold.
Me too.
I wish somebody would just send me
Our
one
business
gold.
adventure,
I
we
need
can
somebody
discuss.
send me bacon.
Ooh.
Bacon
Ooh, that
sounds
sounds
pretty
great.
good too.
I'm so hungry.
But, me too, I haven't eaten yet, and it's almost 11 p.m.
I know.
I know it's almost 8 here.
In that vein, Krista, tell us what you've been watching or
All right.
reading.
Well, I've been reading way too much, and it's all new adult books. I'm rereading the Guitar series. We'll just leave it there. It's good. If you know, you know.
Wait a minute. Which series?
A Court of Thorns and Roses.
Okay.
It's a new adult fantasy, like fae human, multiple book series. There's like 5 books out now, so I'm just rereading it. It's fairly well, but it is new adult. And then what I've been watching though has been Downton Abbey, and I can't wait to go back and watch it again and again and again. And I just want to rewatch the entire series.
Oh my gosh. We were just talking about this the other. I mean, have you seen the movie? I mean, they just.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've seen the movie. I've gone to the premieres. I dressed up in a 1920s inspired dress that I made to a Downton tea party before the premiere. Like,
oh my
I love
gosh.
Downton.
Oh my gosh, you're cosplaying. This is serious.
This is serious.
So tell me,
when it comes to tea, this is serious.
What is it about Downton Abbey that you enjoy?
Everything. I mean, there's not one thing.
I mean, is it the characters? Is it the writing?
It's the history, the writing, the dynamics between the characters. It's just that time period and all of like the effort they put into making sure the gowns were very accurate and the scenes were accurate and the interaction between the servants and the the family were accurate. This one was really interesting because they really focused on like they had the TV series and then they had the first movie, and then now this one's really like a change where here and in England we had a huge shift in society and a huge shift in ideals of what women could do or what can't do, what you can wear, what you can't wear, how to wear your hair, and then the dynamics between having paid servants in your house versus people who were lower class that are now going out and getting different jobs instead of being butlers and foot servants. So it just like historically I love getting to see that time and how it's portrayed.
Cool. Yeah, we were just talking about Downton Abbey, and I said, who? I mean, it's huge, and so I'm wondering, who is watching this? And like several of the panel members said that they were watching it. So I mean, that people, it has its fans for sure. For sure.
I'm a big BBC person anyways, so
I am too. But I like the geeky stuff. Mostly. Can I mean, and Sherlock.
Oh, valid.
I don't know if Sherlock is geeky stuff, but I love that too. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to put myself up here.
I would classify it as geeky.
You would not classify it as geeky?
I would classify it as geeky.
I think that probably qualifies as geeky as well. So I just like geeky stuff. What can I say? All right. So here's my on blast. I went to see Top Gun in the biggest, loudest theater I could. Is the IMAX at the Warren in Moore, and the thing was pretty amazing. I think as someone who saw the original movie many years ago, 36 years ago or whatever. I think that if you took a template of the original movie and you placed it over the new movie, it would be the exact same story. It hit beat by beat. I mean, there was in the original movie, spoiler alert, when Goose dies, at the exact same time in the new movie, there is someone who dies. And I mean, I guarantee you, just like if you watch what was the terrorism thing in the White House?
Something Has Fallen.
Olympus Has Fallen.
Olympus Has Fallen. Yeah.
If you look at Olympus Has Fallen and you take the template of Die Hard, that was absolutely the same sort of thing. It's just beat by beat, you're going to hit the same thing. They just did it with the original movie. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but they obviously took the template of the original movie and remade it. The ending on this thing was much better than the original film, I feel like. And in addition to that, I'm going to say that this was a better movie than the original movie. I know that some people will say that that's blasphemous, but I really enjoyed this movie. I thought they did a great job. I think they really stuck the landing. See what I did there?
Was that landing on deck?
See what it was on deck. They landed it on the postage stamp. They did a great job of this thing. And no matter what you think, even if you don't like movies, you should go see this thing in the theater so that you can see this real aerial footage that they filmed for this thing, because it is really breathtaking and clearly different than the CGI stuff that you're used to. This stuff is visceral. You can feel it. You can see these people moving and nearly blacking out from doing these crazy maneuvers and stuff. You can see how these things interact with each other. It's really spectacular. Even if you're not into Tom Cruise or jets or whatever, it's really something else. I think that it's well worth. And hey, welcome back to movies. I mean, we really, this was not a Star Wars movie. It wasn't a Marvel movie. It wasn't a DC movie. This is just an old-fashioned blockbuster that did really well, and rightly so. It's the absolute perfect example of a summer popcorn movie, and it's nice to see people cheering and stuff and having a good time all together. Again, it's after the last couple of years, it's triumphant to go see a movie like this. I also want to say that I mentioned last week that I'm finally watching the Harry Potter movies.
Let's go!
I mean, can you believe that I am just now seeing the Harry Potter movie? I finally watched Deathly Hallows Part 2, so I've seen the whole thing now. I've seen the whole show.
Woo!
And really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. I mean, I think actually those movies got better as it went on. I mean, one of the things that, I think the themes got more mature, the stakes got higher. It just got more interesting to me as it went on. And, they really brought it all together in that final movie. I really enjoyed it. I realized that I'm 12 years behind everyone else.
It's all right, Dirk. I only saw one of those movies in the theater.
I'm trying to think if I saw any of them in the theater. It was one of those things like where I lost track of, like one of the movies. And then once you lose the movie, you don't want to see the next movie until you see the last movie.
Right.
So anyway, let me add Krista back to this thing and then back
Sorry,
to
I pushed your red button.
You're okay. I just have one last thing to talk about, and that is this comic right here. And again, I'm behind on this. This book was released in 2020, and it has 8 issues, and it is now collected as a hardback, which I don't have. All I have is this issue right here. But oh my gosh, holy cats, this thing is amazing. This is written by Jonathan Hickman. It is illustrated by Mike Huddleston, and someone named Sasha Head does the design. And I got to tell you, I mean, look at if you're into design stuff, I don't know if you care about that sort of thing, but a third of this comic is the design. Let me see if I can find another thing that they do on this, because they do these kind of interstitial things where they show you maps, right? This is just one comic. And then you have like, here's the universe, or here's the galaxy or whatever, and here's the different factions that are within the galaxy, and here's where like these different artifacts and stuff are over here. And I mean, that they have that, but also this is incredible right here. This Mike Huddleston, who by the way did the last thing that I saw that he did was the new X-Men story that kind of reset everything. And his stuff was amazing in that, but it wasn't as good as this. This stuff where he is doing painting stuff, he's drawing things, he's doing pen and ink, he's doing, all these different things. Look at this ship here. Look at this ship here. Do you see this? This thing with come on. This stuff is amazing. This is real art. If you like the work of like Dave McKeon, Bill Sienkiewicz, that sort of stuff, this old thing, you can see where he's going between, like he does pen and ink stuff, but he does a little bit of like a pop of color over here on this, but mostly pen and ink. It's just incredible. It's like an art
book.
It's like an art book. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Just show you another couple of pages. Anyway, characters are great, set in the future. World building is insane. Like I said, you have they pause in the narrative to give you these maps and show you the ships and all kinds of. I love it. It's science fiction. It's amazing. Published by Image. It's like like Top Gun, Maverick is for Steve. This Decorum is for me. Right here. It's called Decorum. It's already out. 8 issues. They say there's going to be a sequel or something, and I love it. It's amazing. Highest recommendation. All right. That's it. It's promo time. We are almost to the home stretch, folks. It is promo time. So, first up for our guest, please tell us where we can find you.
So you can find me on all social media at Fleur de Villainy, and you can find the comic specifically at Wolf and I Comic on Instagram. We are live on Kickstarter right now. We have 30 days left, and we're about 65% funded. So we just have a little bit more till we hit funding, and after funding, it's all up from there. We've got some amazing stretch goals. If you can't find the link to the Kickstarter, it's on all of my social media, easy to grab.
Awesome. And here's the Kickstarter, by the way. That's the reason for the season. Right there. That's why we're all here. Let's get over to that Kickstarter and get some bids in there. I think you may have had a couple of bids that you didn't have before the show, and we will call Steve up if he hasn't already taken care of, because Steve always bids on this stuff. But thanks to Sean for bidding on your stuff. So
yes,
anyway,
thank you so much.
And we'll get some more stuff to you here over the next few days. Scott, tell us where to find you.
Probably the easiest place to find me is on Instagram. I post quite a bit of stuff on Instagram. And it's either Scott Sackett or Scott D. Sackett. And your post, crawling across the bottom of the screen is a link to the blog where you can see the first issue of Heaven's Rejects. So check that out. If you like it, if you're interested in it, please take a second to order it. Ask your local comic shop to order it.
Gotta push it.
I gotta push it, yeah. And if you and you can always check out. I have a website at scottsackett.org, and I have art on there, and there's links to all my stuff there. So
yeah, it's good stuff. So look, if you pick up the previews, Diamond previews, it's either going to be in this next, like tomorrow's issue, or it'll be a month from now. But either way,
I think it's July. I think it's in the July.
You think it's July?
Probably.
July, August.
Yeah,
September.
and it'd be in the
July.
Yeah, and the publisher's Source Point Press, so it would be in their section.
Still not to look. If you have a comic book pull list, just go in there and say you want Heaven's Rejects.
There you go.
Right.
That's all it takes. Make
Yes.
sure that they order it for you.
Yes, and it will
Sometimes
change your
they
life.
write this stuff down. It will change your life.
Yes.
Your life will never be the same.
Yeah. I don't know if it'll be better or worse, but it'll be different.
Right. Walt, where can we find you, man?
You can find me at Facebook at What Walter Cons. You can also find me at whatstudioart.blogspot.com. You can find me on Twitch TV at Gatchaman_1. And you can find me at What Studio Art on Zazzle, where you can find lots of things that I sell on lots of things. Zazzle.com.
There it is. All right, you can see all of my silly stuff right there while we're doing that. Let's see what Ashell says. Good night, my friends. Great show. Krista, you are an amazing creature that needs to shine in this too realistic world. How about that? Put that on your business card.
On my bio.
There you go. Put it on the bio that you're going to write. Because when I have you on again, and I will have you on again, because
I'll have a bio, a true bio. It's going to be full of glitter, and you're going to find that glitter 6 years later.
It's going to get in the carpet. We're not going to be able to get it all out of there.
It's going to be all in your keyboards.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna pour out like the sand in the Never-Ending Story, or in Peter Pan.
Krista, I'll make you the same deal that I make everyone. If you need to get on here for 5 minutes, or you need to get on for the full show, then just tell me, and we'll make sure to get you on here. That goes for you too, Scott.
Thank you.
Seriously, anytime you guys need a little promotional push or something, that we want to do it. I didn't skip Casey Jane. She's taking a break, so we're breaking on.
Yes, I'm on a social media break.
There's always love for Casey Jane. I want to make sure that people know that I'm not stiffing her here.
Nope, I am taking a little mental social media break.
Hallelujah, I hear you.
Sometimes that's what you got to do.
Absolutely, nothing wrong with that. All right, folks. Thanks to everyone who chimed in tonight, people who watched. We sure appreciate that. We had good responses, good comments, good questions tonight. Thanks to all of you. Thanks to Krista for being on. Thanks to Scott. Thanks to Walt. Thanks to Casey Jane for getting us all caught up with everything. Oh, we got one other thing here. Damon says, I know CJ is going to sleep good tonight, the way that she's been smoking like a train over there.
Listen, I cannot speak for all nurses, but I can speak for me. I survive on 3 things in this world: caffeine, nicotine, and my Adderall. I do just fine. I am smoking Melon Patch.
Melon.
And I promise you I won't sleep well. I never do.
Oh.
I have a sleep tracker ring, and it tells me I do terrible. I'm sorry.
My wife has one of those, and when her tracker ring tells her that she didn't sleep good, she always blames me.
I love this thing. It just reminds me how terrible of a human I am, and how I
oh my god,
oh my goodness,
and now I just don't do what I'm supposed
no.
to. It builds character. It's fine.
Thanks everyone for watching us tonight. We're going to let that be our final deal. Everyone, wave goodbye. Thanks to everyone who watched. Thanks to Scott. Thanks to Walt. Thanks to Krista. Thanks to Casey Jane. For all of them, I'm Dirk Hooper. Until next time, dream hard.